The ancients knew a secret that we have forgotten. They knew that time is not a river, flowing relentlessly from a past you cannot change to a future you cannot control. They understood that time is a vast, still ocean. And within this ocean, every moment, every yesterday, every today, every single potential tomorrow exists at once. We have been taught to see only the single wave that is our present, forgetting that we are, and have access to, the entire ocean. We live our lives on a narrow, fragile timeline, haunted by the ghosts of past waves and terrified of the ones yet to crash upon the shore. But this is a self-imposed prison, a trick of the mind. So, what if? What if you could learn to navigate that silent, boundless ocean? What if you could visit the shores of your own past, not as a prisoner chained to its regrets, but as a wise healer, carrying the lamp of your present awareness into its darkest rooms, not to change what happened, but to change what it means, to dissolve its energetic charge, to free the version of you that is still trapped there? And what if you could gaze toward the horizon of your future, not with the anxiety of the unknown, but with the quiet, confident power of an artist about to place the first, deliberate stroke on a magnificent canvas? What if you knew that the future is not a destination to be discovered, but a reality to be created from the feeling state you choose to inhabit right now? This journey we are about to take together is not a lesson in history, nor is it a prophecy of what will be. It is a time travel meditation, a voyage into the self, through the self, a journey through the illusory mist of linear time, so that we may touch the wounds of what has been with compassion and mold the clay of what is yet to come with intention. There is no machine to enter, no complex dial to turn. The vessel is your own consciousness, the gateway is your breath, and the key is your willingness to believe that you are far more powerful than your memory or your imagination has led you to believe. So now, settle into your space. Close your eyes if you feel called to. Let the sounds of the outside world fade and turn your attention inward to the quiet hum of your own being. Take a slow, deep breath, feeling it fill you with the energy of this present moment, the only moment of power you will ever have. And as you exhale, release the day, release the week, release the illusion of the clock. With me, let us step through the veil. Let us step into the timeless now. Here in this space, the timeless now is your true home. It is the only place where life ever truly happens. Feel it for a moment. It is not an emptiness, but a fullness. It is not a void, but a field of pure potential, buzzing with a silent, aware energy. All the power that you have ever had, or will ever have, is concentrated in this single, infinite point. This is the great secret, the foundational truth upon which all inner freedom is built. Yet, it is the one place we are taught to avoid. From our first breath, we are conditioned to live in exile from the now. Society, education, even our own biology conspires to pull our consciousness away from this center, to cast it backward into the labyrinth of memory or forward into the fog of anticipation. We are taught to define ourselves by the past. We stitch together an identity from 1,000 old photographs, 1,000 past triumphs and failures. I am the sum of my experiences, we say, believing this to be a statement of wisdom, but it is a cage. By defining yourself by what has been, you chain yourself to a ghost. You force the infinite potential of your being to wear the worn-out clothes of a person who no longer exists. You drag the corpse of yesterday into the living room of today, and you wonder why the air feels so heavy. The past is a reference library, not a residence. You are meant to borrow wisdom from its shelves, not to live and sleep among the dusty stacks. And if we are not living in the past, we are projecting ourselves into the future. We live in a state of perpetual becoming. I will be happy when I get the promotion. I will feel secure when I have more money. I will be at peace when I find the right partner. We postpone our lives, believing that salvation lies just around the corner over the next hill. We treat the present moment as a mere stepping stone, a transit lounge on the way to a more important destination, but that destination never arrives, because as soon as we reach it, our mind has already created a new horizon of when. This constant striving This reaching for a future that is forever a mirage is the source of all anxiety. It is a fundamental misunderstanding of life. It is the act of chasing your own shadow, an exhausting and fruitless game that keeps you from ever basking in the sun of what is. Imagine your consciousness in its pure state is a vast, dark, silent cinema. This is your natural state of being. It is peaceful, aware, and empty of content. But in this cinema, a projector has been left running, and it is always on. This projector is your thinking mind. It has two main reels of film that it plays on a loop, projecting them onto the pristine, white screen of the now. The first reel is a vast library of old films. This is your past. Some are grainy, black and white dramas, heavy with regret and sadness. The mind loves to play these on repeat, forcing you to re-watch the scenes of your deepest pain, making you feel the old emotions as if they were happening for the first time. Other films are faded, warm-toned comedies of nostalgia, memories of a golden age that you cling to, creating a subtle sorrow that the present can never measure up. There are action films of old arguments, thrillers of past dangers. The mind plays them all, and you, sitting in the audience, become captivated by the flickering images. You have forgotten that you are the audience. You believe you are the character on the screen, forever doomed to relive that tragedy, forever longing for that lost moment of joy. But it is just a film, a recording made of light and shadow, an echo with no substance. It is not happening now. The second reel is filled with speculative fictions. These are the trailers for your future. Some are horror films, spun from the thread of your deepest anxieties. They show you failing, losing what you love, growing old, getting sick. Your heart pounds as you watch them, your body tenses, mistaking this mental projection for an imminent threat. Other trailers are grand, sweeping epics of hope and desire. They show you achieving your dreams, finding perfect love, attaining complete security. You lean forward, filled with longing, pinning all your hopes on this fantasy, creating a tension of desire that makes the present moment feel inadequate and incomplete. But these too are just films. They are possibilities woven from the fabric of your current beliefs and fears. They are not real. They have not happened. You have spent your entire life mesmerized by the screen, believing that you are the story. You have laughed with the comedies of your memory and wept with its tragedies. You have trembled at the horror stories of your future and yearned for its epic romances. But this is the great illusion. You are not the character. You are not the story. You are not the flickering images of pain or pleasure. You are not even the projector, the thinking mind that tirelessly spins these tales. You, your true self, are the cinema. You are the silent, aware space in which the entire show takes place. Even more, you are the unwavering, pure white light that shines from the projector booth. The light itself is never sad, never happy, never afraid. It is simply light. It shines through the film of sadness, allowing it to be seen. But the light itself does not become sad. It shines through the film of joy, allowing it to be experienced, but the light itself does not become attached to joy. It is the constant, the unmoved mover, the silent witness. Your power is not found in trying to frantically cut up the old films or write a better script for the future ones. Your power is found in the simple, world-altering realization that you are the light. In that realization, the films lose their hypnotic power. You can watch them, but they are no longer you. Let's experience this right now. Bring your attention out of the story and into the senses. Feel the air on your skin. Not the thought of the air, but the actual physical sensation of it. Is that sensation in the past or the future? No, it is here. It is now. Listen to the sounds that surround you. Don't label them. Don't judge them as pleasant or unpleasant. Just receive the raw vibration of sound as it enters your ears. That vibration is real. It is happening in this moment. Feel the subtle field of energy inside your own hands. A faint tingling, a warmth, a feeling of aliveness. That is the energy of your life, and it is only ever present now. This simple act of returning to the raw data of your senses is how you disengage from the movie. It is how you shift your identity from the character on the screen to the silent, watching presence. It is how you come home. This is why the now is your only point of power. Think about it with pristine clarity. Can you act in the past? Can you go back to last Tuesday and unsay the words you spoke? The past is finished. It exists only as a thought, an energetic pattern in your mind right now. Therefore, any healing of the past, any forgiveness, any revision cannot happen then. It can only happen now by changing the pattern you are holding in your present consciousness. Likewise, can you act in the future? Can you jump to next Friday and perform a task? The future does not yet exist. It is a projection, a mental image held in your mind right now. Therefore, any creation of the future, any manifestation, any building of a new reality cannot happen then. It can only happen now by choosing the mental and emotional blueprint from which that future will unfold. This moment, this eternal now, is the workshop. It is the artist's studio. It is the forge where the raw material of consciousness is hammered into the shape of reality. Your power is not a thin line stretched between a regretful past and an anxious future. It is a sun, a brilliant, powerful, creative sun, concentrated entirely in the heart of this very moment. Your task is to cease your travels into the phantom lands of yesterday and tomorrow, and to take your rightful place on the throne of the now. To truly wield this immense power, however, we must become intimately familiar with the material we are working with. We must understand the nature of these films, these energetic ghosts that the mind projects so convincingly onto the screen of our awareness. So, anchored in this profound understanding that all power resides here, in this moment, we will now turn our steady gaze toward the mist itself. We must learn to deconstruct the phantom we call the past and the mirage we call the future, not as a victim, but as a wise observer about to discover the secrets of their construction. We stand now in the center, in the silent, powerful space of the now, and from this vantage point, we can observe the two great forces that constantly pull at our attention. They rise like a mist from the ocean of consciousness, one smelling of dust and dried flowers, the other of ozone and distant rain. These are the twin illusions, the past and the future. They feel so real, so solid. The past feels like a mountain of unchangeable fact behind us, its weight pressing on our shoulders. The future feels like an approaching storm front, full of either promise or threat, forcing us to brace ourselves. We have given these phantoms so much of our power, so much of our life. We have honored them as gods, when in truth, they are nothing but shadows cast by the light of the present moment. Our task now is not to fight them, for one cannot fight a mist. Our task is to see them so clearly, with such unwavering awareness, that they dissolve back into the nothingness from which they came. Let us first turn our gaze to the past, this immense, detailed, and emotionally charged reality that we carry within us. We believe our memory to be a faithful archive, a perfect video recording of what has occurred. This is the first and most fundamental illusion. Your memory is not a recording, it is a story. And it is a story that you are rewriting, re-editing, and retelling to yourself in every single moment. It is not a static artifact preserved in amber. It is a living, breathing thing, an act of continuous creation happening right now. Every time you access a memory, you are not pulling up an old, unchanged file. You are reconstructing it from fragments, and you are filtering that reconstruction through the lens of who you are today. If you are feeling peaceful and centered, you might look back on a past hardship and see it as a necessary lesson, a source of your strength. The memory itself will feel different. Its edges will be softer. If you are feeling depressed and hopeless, you will look back on that very same event and see it only as proof of your failure, as the source of your pain. The memory will feel sharp, heavy, and toxic. The event did not change. The story you told yourself about it did. You are the storyteller. The past has no power on its own. Its power is derived entirely from the narrative you choose to weave around it in the present. Think of the past as a footprint in the wet sand at the edge of the sea. A real event happened. Yes, a foot was placed down, an impression was made. But the footprint is not the foot, and it is not the act of walking. It is merely a trace. We spend so much of our lives guarding these footprints, building little walls around them, trying to preserve them perfectly. We point to a deep, jagged footprint and say, "This is where I was betrayed. This is who I am, a betrayed person." We point to a faint, shallow print and say, "This is when I was happy. I must find a way back to that exact spot." But all the while, the tide of the now is gently washing in and out. Every new breath, every new moment, is a wave that laps at the edges of those old impressions. It softens them, changes their shape, fills them with new water. To insist that the past is a fixed and solid thing is to fight the tide. It is to deny the living, fluid nature of reality itself. Your mind acts as the curator of a vast, private museum. This is the museum of you. And the curator your ego has very specific tastes. It walks through the endless halls of your experiences and decides which ones to put on display. It creates special exhibits. Here is the Hall of Grievances, brightly lit, where every perceived slight and injustice is preserved under glass. Here is the Wing of Failure, where your mistakes are mounted on the wall like hunting trophies. And over here, perhaps in a dusty, forgotten corner, is the small room of triumphs. The curator writes little placards under each exhibit, telling you what it means, reinforcing the official story of who you are. You have been walking through this museum for so long, you have forgotten that you are its owner, not just a passive visitor. You have the power to walk in, thank the curator for its work, and then gently begin to re-curate. You can take the failures off the main wall and put them in a drawer labeled Lessons Learned. You can take the grievances and store them in the basement, deciding they are no longer worthy of display. You are not erasing the past. You are simply changing your relationship to it. You are taking back the power to tell your own story. Now, let us turn our gaze from the mist of yesterday to the fog of tomorrow, the future. This place we strive for, plan for, worry about, and dream of. If the past is a story we tell ourselves, the future is a dream we are having right now. It has no existence independent of your present consciousness. The future you imagine is a projection cast from the machine of your current state. The film running through that projector is made of your present beliefs, your present hopes, and most powerfully, your present fears. Anxiety is the experience of living in a future that you do not want. You project a film of loss, of failure, of pain, and your body reacts as if it were happening now. Your heart races, your stomach clenches, your mind spins. You are terrorized by a phantom. You are suffering in a reality that does not exist. Longing, on the other hand, is the experience of living in a future that you deeply desire. You project a film of success, of love, of perfect peace, and you feel the ache of its absence. Both anxiety and longing, though they feel like opposites, are two sides of the same coin. They are both a refusal of the present moment. They both declare what is here, now, is not enough. They are both a form of self-imposed exile. Let the image of the horizon be your guide. The horizon is a real phenomenon. You can see it. It appears as a definite line where the earth meets the sky, yet you can never reach it. Walk for a day, a week, a lifetime towards the horizon, and it will recede before you at the exact same pace. It is not a fixed destination. The horizon is a relationship between your eye and the land. It is created from the place where you stand. The future is precisely like this. It is not a place you are traveling to. It is an effect that is constantly being generated from your present point of being. To believe you will one day arrive in a happy future is like believing you will one day be able to stand on the horizon. The only way to experience a happy future is to inhabit a happy present, from which a happy future is continuously, effortlessly born. The future is a hall of mirrors. The only real thing in the room is you, your state of consciousness in this moment. But the mirrors reflect this one reality into 1,000 different angles, creating the illusion of a vast, complex space filled with infinite possibilities. If you are in a state of fear, the mirrors will reflect back 1,000 fearful scenarios. If you are in a state of love, the mirrors will reflect back 1,000 loving outcomes. People spend their lives running around this hall of mirrors, trying to smash the ugly reflections and desperately trying to kiss the beautiful ones. But it is a fool's errand. The reflections have no substance. The only way to change what you see in all the mirrors is to change the one single object being reflected. You must change your own state of being, here, in the now. And so we see the mist for what it is. The past is a story, a footprint, a curated museum. The future is a dream, a horizon, a hall of mirrors. Neither is solid, neither has any inherent power. Their power is the power you give them. Every moment you choose to believe their illusion over the simple, undeniable reality of your own present experience. To see this is to be liberated. You are not the victim of your past, nor the puppet of your future. Seeing this truth does not mean you become an amnesiac who never plans. Memory is a useful tool. Planning for a journey is a practical necessity. The difference is in your identification. You use these tools. You are not used by them. When you find yourself in a thick fog, you do not get angry at the fog or try to punch it. You simply accept that visibility is low. You slow down. You become more present. You pay closer attention to the few feet of ground directly in front of you, taking one careful, deliberate step at a time. This is how we live with the illusory mist of past and future. We acknowledge them, we see them, but we bring our primary focus, our anchor of reality, back to the only solid ground that exists, the ground beneath our feet, right here, right now. Now that we see the mist is not solid, that it is a phantom, we need a way to anchor ourselves so that we do not get lost within it. We need something real and undeniable to hold on to when the ghosts of yesterday and the phantoms of tomorrow come calling. This anchor is not a thought, not an idea, not another story. It is your own body. It is the raw, undeniable truth of physical sensation. It is the port in the storm, the one place that is always, unfailingly, in the now. The mist of past and future is a powerful anesthetic. It numbs us to the only reality we ever have, pulling our consciousness into a world of ghosts and phantoms. We have explored its nature, seen its insubstantiality, but seeing is only the first step. When you are lost in a fog, intellectual understanding that the fog is just water vapor does not stop you from feeling lost. You need a landmark. You need a point of reference. You need something solid, something real, something that is immune to the deceptions of the mind. That anchor, that landmark, that unshakable truth is your body. For most of us, this is a radical idea. We have been taught to treat our bodies as vehicles, as instruments, or worse, as ornaments. It is the thing we use to carry our heads around, the source of inconvenient appetites, aches, and pains. We live our lives from the neck up, divorced from the wisdom and stillness that resides below. Our awareness resides in the chaotic marketplace of our thoughts, while the vast, silent temple of the body remains empty and unexplored. The thinking mind is a compulsive time traveler. In a single moment, it can drag you back to a childhood classroom or fling you forward to a deathbed decades from now. It roams freely and chaotically through the imaginary corridors of time. But your body has a limitation that is also its greatest power. It can only ever be here. It can only ever be now. Your foot can only feel the floor in this moment. Your lungs can only draw this breath. Your heart can only beat this beat. To truly inhabit your body is to be forced into the present moment. It is the ultimate antidote to the time-traveling sickness of the mind. The journey home to the now is not an upward flight into some ethereal realm. It is a downward descent, a conscious dropping of your awareness out of the frantic sky of your thoughts and into the rich, solid earth of your physical form. Let us use the metaphor of an anchor. Imagine your mind is a violent storm at sea. The winds are your obsessive thoughts, howling and changing direction without warning. The massive waves are your turbulent emotions, rising and crashing with terrifying force. You are in a small boat in the middle of this storm. For most of your life, you have been trying to control the storm. You have been shouting at the wind to stop, trying to flatten the waves with your bare hands. It is an exhausting, impossible, and insane struggle. But what if the goal was never to stop the storm? The storm is the nature of the mind. What if the goal was simply not to be swept away by it? In your boat, there is a heavy, powerful anchor. This anchor is the awareness of your own body. To drop the anchor does not mean the storm immediately ceases. The winds may still howl, the waves may still crash, but your boat is now held fast. It rises and falls with the waves, but it is no longer at their mercy. It is no longer being driven toward the jagged rocks of despair or delusion. It is grounded. It is safe. The act of consciously feeling your body, of inhabiting your inner world of sensation, is the act of dropping this anchor. The most accessible gateway to this inner space, the first link in the anchor chain, is your breath. Your breath is the most profound and overlooked miracle. It is the rhythm of life itself, the constant, graceful dance between receiving and letting go. It is a bridge between the conscious and unconscious worlds. You can choose to hold your breath, but you cannot choose to forget to breathe. It happens on its own, a gift. It is, as the metaphor suggests, a silent prayer that is always answered. Each inhalation is a receiving of life force from the universe. Each exhalation is a surrender of your small self back into that universe. To bring your full, undivided attention to this process is a revolutionary act. Let us try it now. Don't try to change your breath. Simply observe it. Feel the sensation of the cool air entering your nostrils. Follow its path down into your throat, into your chest. Feel the gentle, subtle expansion of your rib cage, of your abdomen. Notice the brief, silent pause at the very peak of the inhalation, a moment of perfect fullness. Then, witness the surrender of the exhalation. Feel the release, the letting go. Feel the warmer air as it leaves your body. This simple rhythmic cycle is life in microcosm. It has no past, it has no future. There is only this inhale, and now there is only this exhale. By placing your attention here, you have already pulled yourself from the mists of time and planted your feet firmly in the reality of the now. You have begun to drop the anchor. As you rest your attention on the breath, you can begin to open a second, deeper gateway. This is the awareness of your body's inner energy field. This may sound esoteric, but it is the most natural and direct experience you can have. Your mind is accustomed to thinking of your body as a solid, dense object. But from the inside, it can be experienced as a vibrant field of aliveness. Let your awareness move into your hands. With your eyes closed, can you feel that your hands are there without needing to look at them or touch them to something? Can you feel a subtle tingling in your palms and fingers, a sense of warmth, a gentle vibration, a quiet hum of energy? Do not search for it too hard. It is a very subtle sensation. Just leave your attention there, open and receptive. That feeling, however faint, is the feeling of life itself. It is your inner body. Now, see if you can feel the same aliveness in your feet. Let your awareness fill your feet as if they were empty gloves. Can you feel the same subtle energy there? Now expand it. Feel your arms and legs simultaneously as fields of this silent, vibrant energy. Feel your torso, your neck, your head. Eventually, try to feel your entire body as one single, unified field of aliveness. When you are anchored in this feeling, your thoughts may still come and go, but they no longer have the power to pull you away completely. You are no longer just a head on a stick. You are an entire universe of sensation. This is a portable sanctuary. You can be sitting in a tense business meeting or standing in a crowded line, and nobody around you knows that you are secretly taking refuge in the temple of your own aliveness. You are anchored in the now, a silent pillar of peace while the world of form continues its chaotic dance around you. This inner awareness connects you to the third gateway, your grounding with the earth itself. Feel the points of contact between your body and the world. Feel the precise sensation of your feet on the floor. Feel the weight and pressure of your body on the chair or bed. This physical contact is your unbreakable bond with reality. Imagine roots growing from the soles of your feet, extending deep, deep down into the core of the planet. Feel them drawing up a sense of stillness, of stability, of profound, quiet strength. The earth is endlessly patient. It is always in the now. By connecting with it through the temple of your body, you partake in its immense stability. You become unshakable. The body is the temple. The breath is the prayer. The inner energy is the presence of the divine within, and your contact with the earth is the foundation upon which it all rests. Now you are here, not in thought, but in feeling, not in a story, but in substance. You are anchored. The ship of your awareness is steady. The storm of the thinking mind may still be visible on the horizon, its lightning flashes of memory and rumbles of future anxiety still perceptible, but they no longer threaten to capsize you. You are present. You are stable. You are rooted in your own being. From this place of grounded power, from this quiet stability within the sacred walls of your body, you are finally strong enough to do the sacred work. You are ready to turn and face the echoes of yesterday, not as a helpless victim blown about by the winds, but as the calm, anchored healer who has come to bring peace. From this anchored space, this quiet harbor within the body, we can begin the most sacred of explorations. We can prepare to journey into the past. Let the intention be very clear. This is not an exercise in nostalgia or masochism. We are not going back to relive pain, to wallow in regret, or to sharpen the edges of old grievances. The mind, in its fear, will resist this. It will whisper, "Don't go there. It is a place of suffering. Leave the dead buried." Listen to this voice with compassion, but understand its error. It believes you are the same person who was wounded. It does not realize that you are not going back as the victim. You are not going back as the one who was lost in the storm. You are returning as the lighthouse. You are going back as the wise, grounded, present moment healer, and your only mission is to bring light into rooms that have been dark for far too long. This is not an act of re-traumatization. It is an act of soul retrieval, of liberation. We are going back to find the fragmented parts of our own energy that have been frozen in time, and we are going to lovingly thaw them with the warmth of our present awareness. To begin this journey, you must consciously adopt the role of the wise healer. For a few moments, let go of your personal story. Release the identity of the one who was hurt, the one who was wronged, the one who made the terrible mistake. These are characters in the play. For this work, you must become the audience, the silent, compassionate witness who sees the whole stage. The wise healer does not judge. The wise healer does not blame. The wise healer does not analyze or try to figure it out. The wise healer has only one tool, and it is the most powerful force in the universe: pure, unconditional, loving presence. This presence is the light you have cultivated by anchoring in the now. It is your consciousness, untainted by story. Your only task on this journey is to carry this light. You are not going back to have an argument. You are not going back to change the script. You are simply going to illuminate the scene as it was, and in that illumination, a profound alchemy takes place. Let us use a metaphor. Imagine that your entire past is a vast, ancient house. Within this house are countless rooms, and each room is a memory. Some rooms are bright and airy, filled with sunlight and happy feelings. We visit these often, but other rooms have been locked for years. Their doors are heavy, their keyholes rusted. It is in these rooms that our vital energy remains trapped. Today, as the wise healer, we will choose one of these rooms. Perhaps not the most terrifying one, not the deepest dungeon in the basement, but a room of significant charge, a room of sadness, shame, or regret. You stand before the door. In your hand, you hold a key. This key is your present moment intention to heal and release. You feel the anchor of your body, the steady rhythm of your breath. You are not the frightened child who was locked in that room. You are the master of the house who has come to set things right. With a steady hand, you place the key in the lock and turn it. The door creaks open. As you peer inside, the air is thick and stagnant. It is dark. Dust motes, heavy with the energy of old emotion, hang in the air like a thick veil. As your eyes adjust, you see the scene, frozen in time. The furniture is the unchangeable facts of what happened. The arrangement is the sequence of events. And in the middle of the room, you see them. You see a younger version of yourself, perpetually stuck in that single moment of pain. Perhaps there are other people in the room, also frozen in their roles. For years, this scene has been playing on a loop in the darkness, generating the same painful emotions over and over, feeding the story of your suffering. But now, something is different. You, the wise healer, are standing in the doorway, and you are holding a brilliant, warm golden lamp. This lamp is your conscious, anchored presence. The fuel for this lamp is the endless supply of your breath. The light it casts is the light of pure, non-judgmental awareness. This is your only tool and your only task. Here is what you do not do. You do not rush into the room and try to drag your younger self out. You do not shout at the other figures in the scene. You do not try to rearrange the furniture or change the unchangeable facts. Any of these actions is an act of resistance, an act of judgment. They are the actions of the ego, which believes it needs to fix something. The wise healer knows that nothing needs to be fixed. It only needs to be loved. It only needs to be seen. Your only action is to stand at the threshold, grounded in your body, and allow the light from your lamp to pour into the room. Simply hold the lamp steady. Watch as its warm golden radiance gently begins to fill every corner of the space. It is a soft light, a compassionate light. It does not burn or expose, it soothes and reveals. Watch what happens as this light of pure awareness touches the scene. The heavy, stagnant air begins to clear. The thick dust motes, which seemed so solid, are revealed to be nothing but tiny, insubstantial particles, now dancing weightlessly in the beam of your presence. The terrifying shadows that once lurked in the corners retreat from the light, their power dissolving. The scene itself does not change, but your perception of it undergoes a radical transformation. The emotional charge, the electricity of the pain, begins to neutralize, grounded by the wire of your conscious presence. Most importantly, watch your younger self in the room. Bathed in this warm, unconditional light for the first time, something begins to shift. The tension in their shoulders might begin to ease. Their head, bowed in shame or grief for so long, might slowly begin to lift. They look toward the doorway and see you, their future self, standing there not with judgment, not with pity, but with immense quiet love and strength. In your gaze, they do not find condemnation for their powerlessness. They find validation for their pain and the silent promise of their own survival and eventual wisdom. In this moment of being seen without judgment, the frozen energy begins to thaw. The healing is not in changing the past, but in finally bringing your whole, present self to comfort the part of you that was left behind there. Let us make this a living practice. Remain anchored in your body, feeling your breath. Now, allow a memory to surface, one that still carries a sting of regret or sadness. Do not dive into the story. Simply see the scene, see the room. Now, step into your role as the wise healer. Feel the lamp of your awareness in your hands, burning brightly. From your place of safety in the present moment, shine this light onto that entire memory. Illuminate every detail, every person, and especially the younger you who is at the center of it. Do nothing else. Just breathe and hold the light steady. Be the lighthouse. Your only job is to shine. Do not expect fireworks. The shifts are often very subtle. It may be a feeling of distance from the event, as if you are now watching it from a safe place. It may be a softening around the edges of the emotion. It may be a wave of compassion for your younger self, a feeling you have never allowed before. These subtle shifts are the cracking of the ice. This is the beginning of liberation. By visiting the past in this way, we are rewiring our own neurology. We are teaching our system that it is possible to look at these memories without being consumed by them. We are uncoupling the memory from the automatic, painful, emotional reaction. We are reclaiming the vast stores of energy that have been locked away in these dark rooms, bringing that vitality back into our present moment, where it can be used for creation rather than for the preservation of old pain. As you hold this light of presence steady, you will begin to notice that some of the deepest, most stubborn shadows in these rooms are not cast by the furniture, but by heavy, invisible chains. They are energetic chains forged in the fires of old pain that bind you to the other people in the room, or even bind you to that frozen version of yourself. These chains are made from a single, powerful, and toxic alloy, the illusion of unforgiveness. To truly liberate the energy trapped in these rooms, to swing the doors wide open and let the fresh air of the present finally circulate, we must learn how to see these chains, understand their function, and lovingly, deliberately sever them. In the illuminated rooms of your past, as your conscious presence holds steady like a lamp, you have seen them, the shadows within the shadows, heavy, dark, energetic chains that bind you to the figures in your memories. They are the spectral evidence of unforgiveness. From an energetic perspective, unforgiveness is not merely a thought or an attitude. It is an active, ongoing connection. It is a thick, etheric cord that stretches across time and space, linking your energy field directly to a person or an event from your past. Through this cord, your most precious resource, your present moment life forces, continuously siphoned away to feed an old grievance, to keep a wound festering, to sustain a drama that ended long ago. We believe, in our pain, that by holding on to this grudge we are somehow punishing the other person. This is the greatest lie the ego tells about forgiveness. In truth, they may be living their life in complete freedom while you remain a prisoner, chained to a ghost in a cell of your own making. To forgive is to see the chain, not as a weapon you are wielding, but as the very shackle that binds you. It is the act of picking up the key, unlocking your own fetter, and walking free. To walk this path of liberation, we must first dismantle the misunderstandings that have made the word forgiveness so heavy and so unappealing. Our resistance to it is built on a foundation of lies, and we must expose them to the light. First, forgiveness is not condoning. It is not saying, what you did was acceptable. It is not minimizing your pain or justifying another's harmful behavior. You can forgive someone completely and still recognize with absolute clarity that their actions were wrong, hurtful, and unacceptable. The two are not mutually exclusive. Forgiveness operates on the energetic plane. Judgment of an action operates on the mental and moral plane. You can release the energetic charge while still holding the wisdom of the experience. Second, forgiveness is not reconciliation. This is a critical distinction. Forgiving someone does not mean you must allow them back into your life. It does not mean you have to speak to them, trust them, or resume a relationship with them. It is a purely internal, personal, and private act. You can forgive someone you will never see again. You can forgive someone who is no longer living. The act is for you, about you. It is about cleansing your own inner space, not about repairing an external relationship. Sometimes, the wisest and most loving action for yourself is to forgive someone from a great distance, honoring the lesson they taught you, which may have been to never allow that kind of energy into your life again. Finally, and most importantly, forgiveness is not for the other person. It is a profound act of self-love. It is the ultimate declaration that you will no longer allow another person's past actions to contaminate your present peace. It is you deciding, with conscious intent, that you will no longer carry the poison of resentment in your own heart, simply because someone else handed it to you. It is you deciding that your inner peace is more valuable than your grievance. To hold on to resentment is to allow someone who hurt you in the past to continue hurting you every single day in the present. Forgiveness is the act of withdrawing that permission. It is the end of the self-inflicted suffering. There is a profound spiritual metaphor that perfectly captures this truth. Holding on to resentment is like grasping a burning coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. Imagine it viscerally. You see the person who has harmed you, and in your rage, you scoop up a glowing red-hot coal from the fire. Your entire being is focused on them, on the satisfaction you will feel when you finally hurl this instrument of pain at them. But in the meantime, where is the coal? It is in your hand. Whose flesh is it searing? Whose nerves are screaming in agony? Whose energy is being consumed by the singular focus of holding on to this pain? Yours. All of it is yours. You are the one being burned. The object of your hatred may be miles away, enjoying their life, completely unaware of the torment you are putting yourself through on their behalf. You are the only victim of your own burning coal. Forgiveness, then, is the moment of lucid sanity. It is the moment you finally become aware of the searing pain in your own hand, in your own heart. It is the moment you realize that the strategy of holding onto the coal is flawed, that it is only harming you. Forgiveness is the simple, conscious, deliberate act of unclenching your fist and letting the coal drop to the ground. In that moment of release, the active burning stops. Your hand is still wounded, of course. The blisters are there. The memory of the pain is real. The wound now needs time and attention to heal, but you have stopped the act of self-harm. You have liberated yourself from the source of the agony. You can now dip your hand in cool water. You can tend to your own recovery. This is the essence of energetic severance. It is letting go of the burning coal of resentment so that you can finally begin to heal. This act of forgiveness must be extended in two directions. The most obvious is forgiving others. Let us practice this now. In your mind's eye, bring forth a person you have been holding a grievance against. See them before you. Now, for a moment, try to see them not as the monster your pain has made them out to be, but as a flawed, imperfect human being, most likely acting from their own deep well of pain, fear, and unconsciousness. This does not excuse what they did, but it depersonalizes it. Now, visualize the energetic cord, the chain, that connects your solar plexus to theirs. See it pulsing with dark, heavy, resentful energy. Feel how it drains you. Now, take a deep breath. In your mind, or out loud if you feel called, say the words, "I see what happened. I do not condone it. But for the sake of my own peace, for the liberation of my own soul, I release you. I forgive you. I cut this cord now. I take back my energy, and I give you back yours. You are free, and I am free." As you say this, visualize a sword of brilliant white light or a pair of golden scissors, and with one clean, decisive action, cut the cord. Watch as the two ends sizzle and retract. Their end goes back to them. Your end returns to your own body, where it is instantly purified by the light of your awareness. Feel the immediate lightness in your being. Breathe. The second, and often far more difficult direction of forgiveness, is toward yourself. The chains with which we bind ourselves to our own past mistakes are often the thickest and heaviest of all. We are our own cruelest jailers. The process is the same. Bring to mind a mistake you made, an action for which you carry shame or guilt. See the younger version of you who made that choice. Understand that they were doing the best they could with the level of consciousness they had at that time. They did not know what you know now. If they had, they would have chosen differently. See the heavy chain of self-blame that connects you, here in the present, to them, trapped in that moment of error. It is a chain of constant, low-grade self-punishment. Extend to that younger self the same grace you would extend to a frightened child who has made a mistake. Say to them, "I forgive you. I release you from the burden of my endless judgment. You were doing the best you could. You have suffered enough. I release you. And now, take your sword of light and sever this cord. Allow your younger self to finally be free from your condemnation. Allow yourself to be whole again. With each cord that is cut, with each burning coal that is dropped, a tremendous amount of life force becomes available to you. The energy that was once consumed by the maintenance of old grievances is now returned to your present moment, ready to be invested in creating the future you desire. The rooms of the past, once dark and cluttered with heavy chains, now feel lighter, more spacious. The air is clear. You have performed a profound act of spiritual and energetic hygiene. You are not just free from the past. You are now free to create. With this newfound freedom and wholeness, we can now approach these old memories in a new, powerful, and creative way. We are ready to return to those rooms, not just as a healer with a lamp, but as a wise director with the power to reinterpret the scene. We are now ready for the sacred art of revision. You have walked through the shadowed rooms of your past, bearing the lamp of your presence. You have stood before the ghosts of yesterday, not as a victim, but as a wise and compassionate healer. You have found the burning coals of resentment and, with an act of profound self-love, you have opened your hand and let them fall. The energetic chains that tethered you to old hurts have been severed. A vast reservoir of your own life force, once squandered on the maintenance of grievances, has been returned to you. Feel the lightness, feel the spaciousness within you. You are free. This freedom is not just a release from something, it is a freedom for something. Now, with this reclaimed energy and newfound peace, we can move beyond the role of the healer and step into the role of the artist, the creator. We are no longer just cleaning the old rooms of memory. We are about to redecorate them. We are about to engage in the sacred and forgotten art of revision. The principle is as simple as it is profound. Your imagination is not a frivolous faculty for idle daydreaming. It is the very workshop of God, the creative power through which reality is formed. Your subconscious mind, The vast, powerful intelligence that orchestrates your life does not and cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a physically experienced one. It responds only to the feeling of the experience. A painful memory is nothing more than a scene that was impressed upon your subconscious mind with the powerful feeling of fear, shame, anger, or sadness. Once impressed, that scene becomes a blueprint, a negative mold that shapes your present beliefs, colors your expectations, and subtly attracts circumstances that resonate with its painful frequency. You are not being punished. You are simply experiencing the harvest of the seeds you unwittingly planted. Revision is the conscious, deliberate act of planting a new seed. It is the art of going back to that moment in imagination, not to relive the pain, but to rewrite the scene, to give it a new and noble ending, and to impress the subconscious with a new, healing feeling. We are not lying to ourselves about the facts of the past. We are changing the emotional truth of the past as it lives within us, and in doing so, we redeem it. Imagine you are a master film director. Your entire life, up to this moment, exists as raw footage in a vast film archive. You have been given the keys to the editing suite. This suite is the sanctuary of your own focused mind. It is a quiet, dark, and powerful space. You sit before a large screen, and with your intention, you call up one of the old, painful scenes. Let us say it is a memory of a harsh rejection. You watch the raw footage. You ask for something. The other person says no, perhaps unkindly. The scene ends with you feeling the sting of shame, the pain of rejection, the feeling of being small and unwanted. This is the old film, the one that has been playing on a loop in the back of your mind for years. The novice filmmaker believes they must destroy this footage, but this creates conflict and resistance. The master director knows better. The footage is not the problem, the edit is the problem. Your job now is to re-edit the end of the scene. You acknowledge the facts the request was made, the no was said, but you change what happens immediately after. You become the screenwriter of your own redemption. Perhaps in your revised version, after the no is spoken, instead of shrinking in shame, you see yourself take a calm, deep breath. You look the other person in the eye and say with quiet dignity, "Thank you for your honesty." Then you turn and walk away, not with the slumped shoulders of defeat, but with the straight spine of self-respect. Or perhaps you revise the other person's reaction. After they say no, a look of regret crosses their face, and they add, "I'm sorry, my response was harsh. It's not about you, I'm just dealing with my own issues." The specific new script does not matter as much as the feeling it produces in you, the director, right now. The goal is to craft a new ending that leaves you with a feeling of peace, understanding, strength, or relief. Once you have your new ending, you must add a new emotional soundtrack. The original scene was scored with the jarring music of shame and pain. Now, you overlay the revised scene with a score of peace, warmth, and resolution. This is the act of imbuing your imagined scene with feeling. Now comes the most critical part of the director's work. You place the newly edited scene on a loop. You play it over and over and over again. You do not just watch it intellectually, you experience it. You see it through your own eyes, in the first person. You hear the new words. You feel the new feeling of peace or self-respect saturating your being. You loop it until this revised version begins to feel more natural, more real, more true than the original memory. You are lulling the critical, conscious mind to sleep and speaking directly to the subconscious in its own language, the language of image and feeling. With enough repetition, the old, painful neural pathway in your brain begins to atrophy from disuse, while the new, peaceful pathway strengthens and becomes the new default. The old impression on the subconscious is replaced by the new one. The memory of the event may remain, but its power to hurt you is gone. It has been neutralized. It has been revised. Let us walk through a practical session together. First, choose a scene. Do not start with your most traumatic memory. Start with something manageable, a slightly embarrassing moment, an awkward conversation, a time you felt misunderstood. Second, define your desired feeling. How would you have preferred to feel at the end of that interaction? Confident, peaceful, understood, loved? Get clear on the emotional destination. Third, construct your short, new ending. Create a brief scene, just a few seconds long, that would logically result in your desired feeling, a kind word from the other person, a different, more empowered response from you, a simple handshake, a smile. Keep it simple and focused. Fourth, prepare for the screening. Find a time when you will not be disturbed. Sit comfortably or lie down. Relax your body completely. Enter a state that is close to sleep, but not quite. A drowsy, receptive, meditative state. This is when the veil between the conscious and subconscious minds is thinnest. This is the editing suite. Fifth, play the film. In this relaxed state, begin to loop your revised scene. See it in your mind's eye as clearly as you can. Hear it, but most of all, feel it. Feel the feeling of relief, of peace, of your wish fulfilled. If your mind wanders, gently bring it back to the scene. Don't force it. Be gentle and persistent. Loop it 10, 20, 50 times if you need to, until you feel a palpable shift within you. You may feel a sense of inner rightness, a quiet click, or you may simply drift off to sleep filled with the feeling of the revised scene. That is the impression being made. You have planted the new seed. Now, you must drop it. Trust that the subconscious mind has received the instruction and will carry it out. Revision is the ultimate act of personal responsibility. It is the refusal to remain a victim of your own history. It is taking the scattered, broken pieces of yesterday and using your divine imagination to build a stronger, more beautiful foundation for today. You are tending to the garden of your mind, diligently pulling up the weeds of old hurts and planting the flowers of peace, forgiveness, and love in their place. With every scene you revise, you reclaim a piece of your power. As you continue this sacred practice, as you go back and change the emotional scripts of your life's most significant scenes, you will begin to notice something remarkable happening. The identity you once held, the character you played in those old, painful dramas victim, the failure, the anxious one, the rejected one no longer feels like you. The old costume, which you once thought was your skin, now feels heavy, ill-fitting, and absurd. You have changed the story so profoundly that the old protagonist has become obsolete. This realization brings us face to face with a necessary and profoundly liberating act, the conscious and deliberate shedding of these old skins. Through the sacred arts of healing and revision, a quiet revolution has been taking place within you. You have journeyed back with the light of awareness. You have cut the cords of resentment. You have rewritten the emotional endings of painful old scenes. In doing this, you have fundamentally altered the landscape of your inner world. The old stories that once defined your reality have been dissolved and reformed. Yet, a ghost may still linger. It is the ghost of the person you used to be. It is the character who starred in those old dramas. As you walk through your present life, you may feel a strange dissonance, as if you are an actor who has been given a new, liberating script. But you are still wearing the heavy, tragic costume from a play that has long since closed. This costume is your old identity. An identity is not who you are. Your true self, your core being, is formless, timeless, pure awareness. An identity is a construct. It is a collection of beliefs, memories, emotional patterns, and stories that have been repeated so many times they have solidified into a persona, a mask that you present to the world and, most tragically, to yourself. We say, I am an anxious person, I am unlucky in love, I am a failure, or even, I am a survivor. We mistake these descriptive labels, these temporary roles, for the truth of our being. They become our comfort zone, our known reality. The ego, the part of our mind that craves definition and consistency, clings to these identities desperately. It prefers a familiar suffering to an unknown freedom. To the ego, letting go of a long-held identity, even a painful one, feels like death. And in a way, it is. It is the death of a fiction to make way for the birth of a greater truth. Let us look to the wisdom of nature, to the serpent for our guiding metaphor. A snake must shed its skin in order to grow. This is not an optional accessory. It is a biological imperative. The old skin was once essential. It was perfectly formed for the snake's smaller self. It protected it from the elements. It was its interface with the world. It defined its boundaries. Similarly, the identities you formed in the past once served a purpose. The identity of the shy one may have protected you from social situations that felt overwhelming and dangerous when you were young. The identity of the tough one who needs nobody may have been a necessary shield forged in an environment where vulnerability was punished. We must not despise these old skins. We must honor them for the service they provided. They were the best possible adaptation for the environment you were in at the time. But as the snake grows, as its life force expands from within, the old skin becomes a problem. It does not grow with the snake. It becomes tight, constricting. It dulls the snake's senses. Its colors become faded. Its movements are restricted. What was once a home has become a prison. This is what happens with our old identities. You may have done the work to heal your anxiety, but if you still cling to the identity of an anxious person, you will be subconsciously looking for reasons to be anxious, to make the world fit your story of yourself. You may have opened your heart to love, but if you are still wearing the skin of the one who gets abandoned, you will be unable to fully receive affection, forever waiting for the other shoe to drop. The old identity suffocates your growth and blinds you to the new possibilities that your healing work has made available. The shedding process itself is crucial to understand. It is not a gentle, passive event. It is an active struggle, a necessary crisis. The snake must rub itself against rocks and rough branches, working diligently to tear the old constriction away from its body. It is an act of will, an instinctual drive for greater life. So it is with us. Releasing an old identity requires conscious effort. It requires us to rub against new ways of being. You must choose new thoughts, practice new behaviors, and consciously refuse to play the old, familiar role, even when it feels awkward. It is the moment you speak up in a meeting, despite the skin of the shy one screaming at you to stay silent. It is the moment you allow yourself to be vulnerable with another, despite the skin of the tough one telling you it's a weakness. This is the sacred friction that allows the old, dead layer of self to finally tear and fall away. And what is revealed underneath? Not a raw, wounded creature. Underneath the old, dull, faded skin is a new one, vibrant, iridescent, and perfectly fitted to the magnificent, larger being you have become. You do not become nothing when you shed an identity. You simply reveal the more authentic self that has been growing in secret all along. The time has come to take a conscious inventory of your own skins. Without judgment, with the gentle curiosity of the wise healer, ask yourself, what are the primary stories I tell about who I am? When I complete the sentence, I am, what words most naturally follow? Be honest. I am not good enough. I am a people pleaser. I am always busy and overwhelmed. I am a fighter, a survivor. Pay special attention to that last one. The survivor identity is one of the most powerful and respected skins. It served you heroically. It got you through the battle. But if you cling to it forever, you are chaining yourself to the reality of the battle. You will always be subconsciously scanning for a new fight, a new struggle to survive. To move from merely surviving to joyfully thriving, even this noble, heroic skin must eventually be honored and released. Make a list of these identities. See them not as your true self, but as old costumes hanging in a closet. Now, begin a dialogue with them. Pick one, for example, the one who is always overlooked. Hold it in your mind and say, with genuine gratitude, "Thank you for the role you have played. You taught me to be self-reliant. You protected me from the pain of expecting too much from others. You have served me well. But I have grown now. I have learned to see myself. I have learned to speak my own truth. Your service is no longer required. I honor you and I release you." This act of gratitude, rather than rejection, makes the process of letting go a peaceful and loving one. To solidify this release, let us engage in a simple ritual. Take a piece of paper and write down one identity you are ready to shed. Read it aloud. Feel its weight, its texture, its constricting energy in your body for one final time. Then, with a clear intention of liberation, safely burn the paper. As you watch the flames consume the words, as you see the solid form turn to smoke and ash, feel that same transformation happening within your own energy field. The old rigid structure of that identity is dissolving, returning to formless potential. As the last of the smoke clears, state aloud, "I release this identity. It is no longer who I am. I am free to be who I am now." As you shed these old, constricting skins, you are not left empty. You are left open. You have not become nothing. You have become a space of infinite potential. You have created a sacred vacuum, a fertile void within your consciousness, cleared of the rubble of outdated personas, and nature, as they say, abhors a vacuum. This sacred emptiness yearns to be filled. You, the conscious creator, are the only one who can decide what will fill it. Standing now as this new, formless, potential self, with more freedom and more power than you have ever known, we are ready to become the architect. We are ready to turn our gaze to the horizon and unroll the magnificent blueprints for the life we will now consciously build. We are ready for the architecture of tomorrow. The old skins have been shed. The heavy costumes of past identities have been returned to the wardrobe of memory, and you stand now in a state of profound and potent openness. This is not an empty void of nothingness. It is the fertile void of everythingness. It is the blank page before the poem is written, the uncarved block of marble before the sculpture is revealed, the pristine, cleared plot of land upon which a masterpiece will be built. For your entire life, your future has been little more than a reaction to your past. It has been a projection of old fears, a continuation of old patterns. You built shacks of anxiety on the foundations of old wounds, but you have done the sacred work. The ground has been cleared. The foundations have been purified. Now, for the first time, you will not predict your future. You will design it. You will not stumble into tomorrow. You will build it with the clarity and precision of a master architect. Step into this new role, the architect of tomorrow. An architect is not a passive dreamer, idly wishing for a beautiful building to appear. An architect is a visionary who marries expansive imagination with disciplined intention. They hold the finished structure in their mind's eye with such vividness and clarity that its physical construction becomes a mere formality, an unfolding in time of what is already a completed fact in consciousness. This is your new work, to hold the vision of your desired life so clearly, so lovingly, and so completely within your own mind that its manifestation in your world is the only possible outcome. This new freedom carries with it a beautiful responsibility. With the old, limiting identities gone, you are now free to build anything. So, what will it be? What kind of life does your deepest, most authentic self yearn to experience? This is not a question for the ego, with its desires for status and approval. This is a question for your soul. Listen to its quiet, powerful whispers. It is time to draw the blueprint. Imagine before you, in the quiet sanctuary of your mind, a vast drafting table. The surface is illuminated by a soft, clear light. Upon it is a single, clean sheet of paper, representing the infinite potential of your life from this moment forward. Your tools are not pencil and graphite, but focused thought and vivid, sensory imagination. Here, you are not bound by the building codes of your past. You are not limited by the materials of your old reality. You are free. Your only task is to design the what, not to obsess over the how. This is the most critical rule for the architect of consciousness. You must design your magnificent cathedral, know its every arch, its every stained glass window, the way the light falls within it at noon, with unwavering faith. It is not your job to manage the construction crew, to schedule the delivery of the stone, or to worry about the traffic on the way to the site. The universe, the greater intelligence of life itself, is your loyal and infinitely capable contractor. Its job is the how. Your obsessive worry about the how is a sign of a distrustful architect. It is a sign that you keep running out of your office to tell the master builders how to do their job. This only creates confusion and delay. Your job is to create the most clear, beautiful, and love-infused blueprint possible, and then trust the builders to do their work. A true blueprint of consciousness is not just a two-dimensional floor plan, it is a living, breathing, multi-sensory experience. You must design it with all your senses. Let us say you are designing the House of Abundant Peace. What does it feel like? As you imagine walking through the door, What is the core feeling that greets you? Is it a deep, quiet serenity, a gentle, joyful calm? What does this peace sound like? Is it the sound of silence, the gentle whisper of wind through trees, the sound of quiet, contented laughter? What does it smell like? Perhaps the scent of old books and hot tea, or fresh linen and lavender. What does it look like? Is the light warm or cool? Are the spaces open and airy, or cozy and contained? The more sensory detail you lovingly pour into your blueprint, the more real it becomes in your imagination. You are not just creating a picture, you are creating an energetic reality, a vibrational mold that the clay of the physical world will eventually be poured into. Let us engage in a practical design session. Do not try to design your entire future city at once. That is overwhelming. We will start with one beautiful, important building. Let us call it the temple of your perfect well-being. First, come to your drafting table. Choose your core feeling, the foundation of this temple. Let us say it is vibrant, radiant health. Hold that feeling phrase in your heart. Now, let's sketch the rooms. What are the essential spaces in a temple of well-being? There must be a chamber of deep, restorative sleep. Design it now. See the bed with its cool, clean sheets. Imagine the quality of the darkness, a deep, velvety black that invites total surrender. Feel the silence. Feel your body sinking into the mattress, every muscle releasing, as you drift into 7 or 8 hours of profound, uninterrupted, healing sleep. Next, design the kitchen of living nourishment. See the countertops filled not with processed boxes, but with vibrant, living foods. The deep green of spinach, the brilliant orange of carrots, the rich red of bell peppers. Imagine the clean, pure water. Feel the joy and gratitude you experience as you prepare food that loves your body, food that builds vitality and energy. This is not a room of restriction. It is a room of joyful, loving nourishment. Now, let's add the studio of joyful movement. This is not a grim place of punishment. This is a space where you celebrate your body's strength and grace. Perhaps it is a yoga space filled with morning light. Perhaps it is a dance floor with your favorite music playing. Perhaps it's the image of yourself running effortlessly through a beautiful forest trail. See your body as strong, flexible, and free of pain. Feel the pleasure of being fully embodied, the joy of a body that moves with ease. Finally, design the sanctuary of the quiet mind. This might be a comfortable armchair by a window, a meditation cushion, or a spot in a quiet garden. It is the room you enter to detach from the world's noise. In this room, thoughts slow down. Your mind is like a clear, calm lake. There is a sense of perspective, of peace, of being centered in your own being. Now that the blueprint is drawn, you must do the most important thing. You must live in it. This is not a one-time exercise. Every day, visit your temple. In your imagination, walk through its rooms. Feel the feelings of being there. Before you go to sleep, spend a few minutes in your chamber of deep sleep. Before you eat a meal, mentally visit your kitchen of living nourishment. When you feel stressed, take 60 seconds to sit in your sanctuary of the quiet mind. By repeatedly visiting and feeling your blueprint, you are impressing this pattern onto your subconscious. You are making it your new inner home, your new default state of being. You have now moved from being a passive resident of a life built by chance and circumstance to the active, conscious architect of a life built with love and intention. You hold the clear, perfect, multi-sensory blueprint of your desire in the sacred space of your mind. It is a thing of beauty and power. But a blueprint, no matter how perfect, is still just an intention. It is a pattern. By itself, it cannot assemble the steel of circumstance or pour the concrete of reality. A blueprint requires 2 more things to become a physical structure. It needs the raw building materials, and it needs the dynamic, energetic force that will shape those materials according to its design. This force, this cosmic construction crew that works tirelessly in the unseen, is the most potent magic in the universe. It is the secret ingredient that turns dreams into addresses. It is feeling. You stand as the architect, holding in your consciousness the magnificent blueprint of your desired life. It is clear. It is beautiful. It is imbued with your deepest, most authentic intentions. This is a monumental achievement. But we must now address a question that haunts the realms of positive thinking and personal growth. Why do so many beautiful plans, so many detailed visualizations and heartfelt affirmations fail to take root in the soil of reality? What is the mysterious missing ingredient that transmutes the ethereal blueprint of thought into the solid experiential reality you can touch, taste, and see? The answer is the grand secret of all mystics, seers, and master creators throughout history. The missing ingredient is feeling. Thought, by itself, is a cold, impotent thing. It is a map without a traveler. Feeling is the dynamo. Feeling is the fire that takes the dry kindling of a thought and turns it into a blazing force. Thought points the way, but feeling is the fuel that powers the journey. Let us explore this through the timeless metaphor of the seed and the soil. Your blueprint, your clear and specific intention for your future, is a perfect and potent seed. Within its tiny shell, it contains the entire, complete pattern of the magnificent reality you wish to experience. It lacks nothing, but a seed, no matter how perfect, will not grow if planted in barren ground. A mind that thinks a positive thought without emotional investment is like dry, cracked, sandy soil. You can throw 1,000 perfect seeds onto this ground. You can repeat your affirmations until your throat is sore, but the seeds will simply lie there on the surface, exposed, inert, unable to germinate. They have no medium for growth, no nourishment to draw from, no moisture to awaken them from their slumber. This is the fate of passionless intention. Now, imagine what feeling is. Feeling is the rich, dark, fertile soil, teeming with life and potential. Feeling is the gentle, life-giving rain that penetrates the ground and awakens the seed. Feeling is the warmth of the sun that calls the sprout forth. When you take your intention, your blueprint the seed, and you plant it within a state of deep feeling, you are creating the perfect environment for its growth. When you water the thought of your ideal reality with the emotion of it already being true, germination is no longer a matter of hope or chance. It becomes a law of nature. The shell of the seed must crack. The roots of circumstance must push down into the unseen. The sprout of physical evidence must push up toward the light. The universe, which is the ultimate good gardener, has no choice but to respond to these perfect conditions you have created within your own being. It must bring your creation to fruition. To understand this more deeply, we must learn to speak the native language of the universe. The universe does not understand English or any other human tongue. It does not respond to the words you speak or the thoughts you think in a vacuum. The universe responds to the only language that is truly universal, the language of vibration, of frequency. Everything in existence, from the chair you are sitting on to the furthest star, is energy vibrating at a certain frequency. You, too, are a vibrational being, and the control knob for your personal frequency, the tuner on your own broadcasting station, is your feeling state. The feeling of deep gratitude vibrates at a very high, fast frequency. The feeling of fear, lack, or despair vibrates at a very low, slow frequency. The so-called secret behind all laws of attraction is simply the most basic law of physics. Like energy attracts like energy. A certain frequency can only perceive, experience, and draw to it circumstances and events that are resonating on that same frequency. This is why you cannot create lasting wealth while feeling, and therefore vibrating, in a state of lack. It is a vibrational impossibility. It is like trying to tune your radio to a classical music station while the dial is firmly set in the static of the lowest AM band. You cannot attract a deep and loving partnership while broadcasting the frequency of loneliness and desperation. This is the great reversal of truth that humanity has been taught. We have been taught to wait for the external event in order to generate the internal feeling. When I get the money, I will feel secure. When I find the partner, I will feel loved. But the law of creation works in the opposite way. You must generate the feeling, the vibration of security and love first. The feeling is the cause. The external manifestation is only the effect, the inevitable echo in the physical world of the vibrational truth you are holding within you. So, how does one generate a feeling that does not seem to be justified by current circumstances? This is the art. And the first thing to know is that it is not about forcing a loud, volatile emotion. Many people fail here, trying to whip themselves into a state of hysterical excitement, which is draining and unsustainable. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is rarely a constant state of euphoria. Think about it. If your greatest desire were fulfilled right now, how would you feel after a week, after a month? You would likely feel a quiet, pervasive sense of normalcy, a sense of peace, a sense of satisfaction, a deep and abiding relief that the struggle is over. This is the feeling state we are aiming to cultivate. It is a quiet, confident knowing, not a loud, desperate cheerleading. Let us walk through the process of cultivating this state. First, always begin with gratitude. Gratitude is the master key, the universal solvent. Before you even think about your desire, take a moment to generate a genuine feeling of thankfulness for something you already have. The breath in your lungs, the warmth of your seat, a cherished memory. Feel that gratitude fill your body. This act tunes your vibrational instrument to a receptive, high frequency. Now, bring your blueprint, your desire, to mind. Close your eyes and ask your deeper self this simple question. What would it feel like if this were already true? Don't think of the answer. Wait for the feeling to arise. Focus specifically on the feeling of relief. Imagine the great sigh of relief you would exhale, knowing that the search is over, the problem is solved, the desire has been met. Relief is a powerful and often easily accessible gateway to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Next, to help generate this feeling, imagine a short, simple, sensory scene which implies that your wish has been fulfilled. Do not imagine the moment you receive the check or the wedding proposal. These can be too emotionally charged. Imagine a scene that takes place after the fact. If your desire is a new home, don't imagine signing the papers. Imagine the simple, mundane act of walking through your new living room with a cup of coffee on a quiet Saturday morning, feeling a sense of peaceful belonging. If your desire is to be healed, don't imagine the doctor giving you the news. Imagine yourself months later, effortlessly doing something you couldn't do before, like hiking a trail or playing with your children, and feel the quiet gratitude for your body's strength and vitality. Once you have captured even a tiny spark of this target feeling, this relief, this quiet satisfaction, this peaceful gratitude, let go of the mental image and just marinate in the feeling itself. Let it become your inner atmosphere. Let it saturate every cell in your body. This is the act of planting the seed in the fertile soil. This is the prayer that is always answered. Your job is not to chase your desire in the outer world. Your job is to faithfully and lovingly generate the feeling of its presence within you. You now understand the what, the blueprint of your thought, and you now understand the essential fuel, the creative power of your feeling. You have the map and you have the fuel for the engine. The final piece of this sacred trinity of creation is the engine itself, the mechanism that seamlessly combines the blueprint and the fuel into undeniable forward motion. This mechanism is not an action you perform, but a state of being you inhabit. It is the radical posture of consciousness that is required to cross the bridge from the unseen to the seen. It is the high art of living mentally and emotionally in the reality you have chosen, long before it has hardened into fact. It is the art of assumption. You have designed the blueprint. You have discovered the secret fuel of feeling. Now we arrive at the engine of creation, the dynamic mechanism that combines your intention with your energy and sets in motion the manifestation of your new reality. This is the high art of assumption. It is the practice of living in the wish fulfilled. This is the crucial, transformative shift from hoping for a future to inhabiting it. From thinking of your desire to thinking from your desire. Hope is a confession of lack. It is an admission that you do not currently possess what you seek, and it places your power in a nebulous, uncertain future. Assumption is a declaration of presence. It is the quiet, confident, radical act of claiming your desire as a present fact within your consciousness, regardless of the evidence of the senses. This is the engine that will carry you from the world of imagination to the world of experience. To grasp this art, let us use the metaphor of learning a new language. Imagine you want to become fluent in French. You can spend years studying grammar books, memorizing vocabulary lists, and practicing verb conjugations. You are thinking of French. You are treating it as a foreign subject, separate from you. But you will never achieve true fluency. the effortless flow of a native speaker, until you make a crucial shift. You must start thinking in French. You must stop translating in your head from your native tongue. You must begin to formulate your thoughts, your feelings, your very inner world directly in the language you wish to make your own. At first, it feels awkward. You will be slow. You will make mistakes. But this is the only path. For most of our lives, we have been thinking of our desires from our native language of lack. I wish I were wealthy, we think. A direct translation from the feeling, I am poor. I want to find a loving partner, we affirm, a thought that springs directly from the state of being lonely. We are still fundamentally rooted in the old reality, looking across a vast chasm at the new one. The art of assumption is the courageous decision to immigrate to that new country and to begin thinking and feeling as a native. You no longer think of abundance. You begin to think from the state of being abundant. You no longer think of being loved. You begin to think from the state of being cherished and secure. This is the shift that changes everything. How then does one practice this? How do you think from a state that your senses do not yet confirm? This is done through the disciplined use of your imagination. It is a daily practice, a new way of living internally. One of the most powerful methods is to engage in imaginary conversations from the standpoint of your wish already being a fact. Throughout your day, take a moment to imagine a friend congratulating you. Hear their voice clearly. What do they say? I heard about your amazing new success. Congratulations. Now, what is your natural, authentic reply from the state of that success? It is not a hopeful, oh, I hope so. It is a calm, grateful, thank you so much. It feels wonderful. It was a journey, but I'm so grateful to be here. Feel the quiet reality of that exchange. Play it in your mind until it feels completely normal. By doing this, you are rehearsing your future and impressing your subconscious with the naturalness of your success. This practice must extend to your own private, inner dialogue. You must become a vigilant but gentle gatekeeper of your thoughts. When a thought arises from the old state of lack, for example, you see something you desire, and the thought, I can't afford, that pops up. You must not fight it, but gently revise it from your state of assumption. A person of abundance might think, that's beautiful. I'll choose not to purchase that right now, or simply, I'll get that later. Notice the shift. It moves from the powerlessness of a victim to the freedom of a person with choice. You are training your mind to speak the new language of your desired reality until it becomes its native tongue. This is not about long, arduous periods of meditation. It is about frequent, brief moments of sensory immersion. Take 1-minute vacations into your fulfilled desire all throughout your day. If your desire is a healed body, take a moment while waiting for a kettle to boil to feel the sensation of vibrant health, of moving without pain. If your desire is a loving partner, feel the imagined warmth and weight of their hand in yours as you walk down the street. Imagine your desired state as a beautiful royal robe or a finely tailored suit. In the morning, as you get dressed, imagine you are also putting on this mantle of your new self. Go about your day wearing it. Feel its texture, its dignity, its power. When a challenge arises, ask yourself, how would the person wearing this robe handle this situation? You are not pretending, you are not being delusional. You are consciously and deliberately embodying the vibrational state of the person you are in the process of becoming. You are rehearsing your future so perfectly that it has no choice but to become your present. The greatest test of your faith in this practice will come from the outer world, the world of facts, figures, and physical evidence. What the mystic Neville Goddard called Caesar's world will often present a picture contrary to your assumption. Your bank account may not yet reflect your new state of abundance. The diagnosis may still be on the paper. This is the moment of truth. Your 5 senses are tattletales. They report only on the past. They show you the world that was created by your old states of consciousness. To react emotionally to these reports is to return to the old state, to pick up the old language of lack, and to recreate more of the same. The art of assumption requires you to trust your imagination, the creative, causative reality, more than you trust the physical world, which is merely a shadow of past imaginings. This does not mean you deny the facts. You do not look at a bill and pretend it doesn't exist. That is delusion. Instead, you acknowledge the fact. Here is a bill for X amount, but you filter it through your assumption, and I am so grateful that money flows to me with ease to meet every need. You see the fact, but you choose to feel the truth of your assumption. You are living in two worlds at once for a short period: the dying world of past creations and the emerging world of your present assumption. Your loyalty must be to the unseen reality within you, for it is the fertile ground from which all things grow. To assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled is the most creative and powerful form of prayer. It is not an act of begging to a distant deity. It is an act of claiming a state from the creative power within you, which is your own wonderful human imagination. By assuming you are the person you want to be, you align your entire being, your thoughts, your feelings, your vibration, your very substance with your desire. You make it so that the universe, in its perfect and lawful response, has no alternative but to mold itself around your conviction and present you with the physical reflection of the truth you have so faithfully claimed within. As you practice this art of assumption, as you walk through your day cloaked in the feeling of your wish already being a fact, a new challenge will inevitably arise. The logical mind, the ego, will begin to clamor for a plan. It will demand to know how this will come to pass. It will want to see the steps, predict the path, and control the timing. It will want to build the bridge itself, brick by painstaking brick. To truly allow your assumption to harden into fact, to allow the universe to deliver your creation in a way that is often far more magical and elegant than you could ever conceive, you must master the final and most subtle of the creative arts. You must master the graceful act of detachment from all concern over the ways and means. You must learn to trust the unseen bridge. You are now the architect, living within the magnificent structure of your fulfilled desire in the world of your imagination. You have the blueprint of your specific intention, and you have discovered the secret fuel of creation, which is the feeling of that intention being a present fact. You have the map, you have the fuel, and you are faithfully inhabiting the engine of assumption. It is at this very point that the final and most subtle test of your faith will arise. It is the ego, the logical mind, the inner project manager, waking up in a panic. It will begin to scream for a plan. It will demand a flowchart, a timeline, a step-by-step guide. It will ask, with escalating anxiety, how? How is this going to happen? When will it arrive? I don't see any movement. Are you sure this is working? This desperate need to know the how and the when is the ego's last stand. It is the final, most insidious form of doubt, for it is a backdoor confession that you do not truly believe in the creative power you have just invoked. It is a declaration that you do not trust the process, and that you must therefore step in and micromanage the universe. To bring your creation fully and gracefully into the world, you must soothe this anxious mind and master the profound art of detachment. Think of creation as a divine partnership between you and the intelligence of the universe. In this partnership, there is a very clear and sacred division of labor. Your role, as the conscious creator, is to define the what. Your job is to be crystal clear on the end result, the destination. You decide with absolute authority, I am living in Paris. You create the rich, multi-sensory blueprint of this reality. You feel the cobblestones under your feet. You taste the coffee at the corner cafe. You hear the language spoken around you. You feel the profound sense of belonging. Your work is to faithfully and lovingly inhabit this state of the wish fulfilled. Your domain is the destination. The universe's role, as the master contractor and builder, is to handle the how. Its intelligence is infinite. It can see every possible pathway, every variable, every potential timeline simultaneously. It can arrange chance encounters, orchestrate synchronicities, and move through the lives of billions of people to construct the most direct, elegant, and often magical bridge of incidents to lead you to your destination. The how is its domain. When you, the architect, begin to obsess over the how, you are leaving your sacred office, running down to the construction site, and trying to tell the master builder how to do its infinitely complex job. You interfere, you create resistance, and you demonstrate a fundamental lack of faith that sabotages the entire project. To cultivate this necessary trust, Let us hold a few simple metaphors in our heart. You have planted your seed of intention in the fertile soil of your feeling state. What does a wise gardener do next? They water the soil with continued attention and feeling, yes, but they do not frantically dig up the seed every morning to check if roots have sprouted. To do so would be an act of profound distrust in the laws of nature. It would expose the delicate, nascent roots to a harsh environment they are not ready for. It would kill the seed. You must plant your assumption and then trust the unseen process that is happening in the darkness of the subconscious. The roots are growing. You must allow them to grow undisturbed. Or imagine you are a master archer. You stand on a high cliff, your target a great distance away across a wide canyon. You have chosen your target with perfect clarity, the what. You have drawn back the bowstring with all your might, feeling the tension and power the feeling. Then, you release the arrow, the act of dropping into the assumption. What do you do next? Do you leap from the cliff and chase after the arrow, trying to steer it with your hands, frantically flapping your arms to adjust for the wind? Of course not. That would be absurd, and you would fall into the canyon. No, you hold your position. You stand in your archer's stance, confident and serene, trusting your aim, trusting the integrity of the arrow, and trusting the immutable laws of physics to carry the arrow on its perfect trajectory to the heart of the target. Your work was in the aiming and the release. The journey across the canyon belongs to the arrow. Do not chase your arrow. Think of manifestation as ordering from a divine restaurant. You have been given a menu with infinite possibilities. You have carefully chosen your what. You have called over the waiter and placed your order with clarity. You are now sitting at your table, feeling the happy, satisfied anticipation of your meal's arrival, the feeling of the wish fulfilled. The perfect patron does not then get up, run into the kitchen, and start telling the master chef how to chop the onions, what temperature to set the oven, or which pan to use. To do so would be insulting to the chef and would only delay your meal. The perfect patron trusts the chef. They relax at their table. They enjoy the music. They sip their water. They converse with their companions, all the while knowing with quiet confidence that their specific, chosen meal is being expertly prepared for them. Your obsession with the how is the energy of a distrustful patron who believes the kitchen is incompetent. You must trust the chef. When you truly let go, when you cease your anxious mental meddling, the universe can finally begin its work unimpeded. It will begin to construct a bridge of incidents, a series of events that seem perfectly natural to lead you from your current state to your assumed state. It might be a conversation you overhear. It might be a book that falls off a shelf. It might be a sudden urge to call an old friend who then tells you about an opportunity. If you are desperately fixated on one specific path, for instance, believing I must get a promotion at my current job is the only how-to, more abundance, you may be completely blind to the far more beautiful and elegant bridge the universe is building for you right next to it. Like a surprise inheritance or a brilliant business idea that comes to you in the shower, your obsession with a single path blinds you to all other infinite possibilities. Detachment from the how is the act of saying to the universe, I trust you to surprise and delight me. I am open to any and all avenues. Your only job is to remain in the feeling of the destination and to simply walk across the sections of the bridge as they appear before you, without needing to see the entire span all at once. This is the ultimate act of faith, the final surrender of the small, controlling ego to the vast, loving intelligence of your deeper self and the universe it is one with. It is the shift from anxious, forceful striving to graceful, powerful allowing. You have placed your order with the cosmos. You have aimed and released your arrow. You have planted your seed. Your work in the unseen is done. Now, you must live your life in the seen, cloaked in the feeling of your assumption, with the quiet, unshakable confidence of one who knows that what is claimed in imagination is already on its way to you, in its own perfect time and its own perfect way. And when you achieve this state of graceful detachment, when you are no longer anxiously looking for signs or trying to force a path, a truly beautiful and miraculous phenomenon begins to occur. You start to notice the world around you subtly begin to shift its shape to match your inner conviction. People in your life will say things that echo the imaginary conversations you had. You will see numbers, symbols, or articles that seem to be winking at you from the universe. The outer world, like a vast and perfect mirror, having received a new, steady image to reflect, will begin to organize itself around the truth you have established within, as you learn to gracefully detach from the anxious need to control the how. As you rest faithfully in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you position yourself to witness one of the most profound and liberating secrets of existence. You are about to understand your true relationship with the world around you. For all of human history, we have been conditioned to believe a fundamental story, that we are small, separate subjects moving through a vast, solid, objective world that happens to us. We are the victims of circumstance, the pawns of fate, the fortunate or unfortunate recipients of life's random blessings and curses. This belief is the root of all feelings of powerlessness, fear, and victimhood. Today, we are going to shatter that belief. We are going to perform the great reversal of perception that is the foundation of all true spiritual power. The world does not happen to you. The world happens from you. Your reality is not a fortress you must attack or a prison you must escape. It is a mirror. It has no will of its own. It cannot originate. It cannot create. It cannot judge. It can only, and will only, with flawless and impersonal precision, reflect back to you the truth of who you are being. Imagine you are standing in a vast, empty room, and one entire wall is a perfect, seamless mirror. It is so perfectly polished that it is invisible, and you believe you are looking into another room. In that other room, you see a figure that looks exactly like you. If that figure is frowning, what is your instinctive reaction? The unenlightened approach is to try to change the reflection. You might run up to the mirror and plead with the frowning figure, "Please smile, why are you so sad?" You might get angry at the figure, shouting at it for being so miserable. You might try to reach through the glass and physically force the corners of its mouth upward. This is a perfect metaphor for how humanity lives. We spend our entire lives pleading with, getting angry at, and trying to physically manipulate the reflections in our life. Our boss, our partner, our bank account, our health, desperately trying to force them to smile, all the while we ourselves continue to hold an inner state of lack, frustration, and sadness. It is an exhausting, heartbreaking, and utterly insane strategy because it is based on a complete misunderstanding of cause and effect. The only sane and effective action, the only path to real change, is to realize you are looking at a mirror. It is to withdraw your attention from the frustrating reflection, to ignore it for a moment, and to turn your focus inward to the one place you have any real power, your own face. The moment you, the source, genuinely and authentically change your own expression, the moment you allow a real smile to form from a place of inner peace or joy, reflection in the mirror must instantly and effortlessly smile back. It has no choice in the matter. The law of reflection is absolute. Your inner state of being, your dominant assumption about yourself and the world, is the face you are making. Your life circumstances are the reflection. If you see lack and struggle in your world, it is simply because you are holding the inner expression of lack and struggle. To experience a world of abundance and ease, you must first cultivate the inner expression, the dominant feeling of abundance and ease. The reflection must and will follow. This principle extends to its most radical and powerful conclusion. Every single person in your world is playing a part that you have assigned to them. The mystic Neville Goddard called this "everyone is you pushed out." This does not mean that other people are not real or that they do not have their own consciousness. It means that the version of them that shows up in your reality, the behavior you experience from them, is a direct reflection of your own beliefs and assumptions. If you hold a deep, unexamined assumption that people are fundamentally untrustworthy, you will find that the world consistently provides you with people who betray you or let you down. They are lovingly, if unconsciously, playing the role you have written for them in your inner script. If you believe you are unworthy of love, you will find that even kind and loving people become awkward, distant, or dismissive in your presence. They are reflecting your own rejection of yourself back to you. This is the ultimate teaching of personal responsibility. There is no one to blame, there is no one to change, but self. If you are unhappy with how someone is treating you, the path of the master is not to confront them and demand they change. It is to go within and ask the courageous question, what am I believing or assuming about myself or about them that is causing this reflection to appear before me? Perhaps you are assuming they don't respect you. Perhaps you are assuming you are not important. Your work is not to change them, it is to change your assumption. You must go into the editing room of your mind and begin to imagine them as being respectful and appreciative. You must begin to assume the state of being important and valued. As you faithfully persist in this new inner state, you will witness a miracle. The very same people in your life will either begin to transform their behavior to match your new assumption, or they will gently and without drama drift out of your life, making way for new people who are a perfect reflection of your new self. With this understanding, your entire world becomes a perfect, instantaneous feedback system. It is a loving, intelligent diagnostic tool. If you are consciously attempting to assume a new state of being, for example, the state of profound inner peace, but your day is filled with irritating delays, arguments, and frustrations, the world is not punishing you. It is lovingly and accurately mirroring back to you that you have not yet truly embodied the state of peace. You are still holding on to an inner vibration of irritation and resistance. The world is saying, look, this is what you are currently broadcasting. Do you wish to change the signal? It gives you the information you need to adjust your inner state. Conversely, as you persist in your assumption, you will start to notice the first flickers of the new reflection. You will be thinking a loving thought, and someone will send you a kind message out of the blue. You will be feeling abundant, and you will find money on the street. These are not meaningless coincidences. They are the mirror confirming that it has received your new signal. They are the universe winking at you, saying, I see you, I hear you, keep going. Acknowledge these synchronicities with a quiet nod of gratitude, for they are the evidence that your inner work is bearing fruit. You are not a pawn in a game played by an indifferent universe. You are the source of the game. You are the one looking in the mirror. All power to create, to change, to redeem, and to heal your life lies not in a desperate struggle to manipulate the world outside, but in the quiet, dignified, and persistent work of transforming yourself. The world is your loyal servant, not your cruel master. It waits patiently for you to decide what you want it to reflect. This profound realization that the world is simply your mirror changes your entire relationship with taking action. In the old way of being, action was a tool of force, a desperate attempt to chisel a smile onto the frowning reflection. It was a struggle, a grind, an effort born of the belief that power was external to you. But when you know, with unshakable certainty, that you are the source, action takes on an entirely new quality. It ceases to be a frantic effort and becomes an effortless flow. It is the natural, graceful, and powerful movement of the person in the mirror, whose every gesture is immediately and perfectly reflected by the world. This brings us to the great paradox of action, the difference between anxious, forceful effort and calm, inspired movement. You have now arrived at the pinnacle of understanding. You know yourself not as a victim of circumstance, but as the architect of your reality. You know that the world is but a mirror, flawlessly reflecting the truth of your inner state. You know that your true work is not to battle the world, but to faithfully assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. It is here, at this precipice of immense personal power, that a critical question arises, a paradox that has confused spiritual seekers for ages. What then is the role of action? Do I simply sit in a room, imagining my desire, and wait for it to fall into my lap? This question reveals the deep-seated cultural programming that equates success with struggle and achievement with forceful, relentless effort. We have been taught that we must hustle, grind, and make it happen. This is the model of anxious effort, and today we will dismantle it to make way for a more graceful, powerful, and effective way of being. This is the way of inspired action. Let us first diagnose the energy of anxious effort. Anxious effort is any action taken from a state of not having. Its fuel is fear. It is the fear that if you don't do something, nothing will happen. It is the fear that you are separate from your desire, and you must build a bridge to it through sheer willpower and hard labor. Anxious effort feels like a struggle. It feels heavy, like pushing a boulder uphill. It is accompanied by stress, worry, a sense of frantic urgency, and a constant calculation of outcomes. Its focus is on getting something from the world, getting the money, getting the approval, getting the partner. It is the energy of a hungry ghost, always grasping. Imagine you are in a small boat on a wide river. The beautiful shore you wish to reach is downstream. Anxious effort is the act of turning your boat around and deciding to row frantically against the current. You believe, through some ingrained belief in the nobility of struggle, that this is the only way. You strain your muscles, your knuckles are white on the oars, sweat pours down your face. You feel the immense, powerful resistance of the water working against you, and you call this resistance the challenge or the grind, wearing your exhaustion as a badge of honor. But despite your monumental effort, you find you are making painfully slow progress and may even be losing ground. This is because your action is born from the belief that life is a struggle and that you are separate from your goal. The mirror of the universe, reflecting this belief, can only provide you with a reality that feels exactly like a struggle. Now, let us explore the nature of inspired action. Inspired action is any action that arises spontaneously and effortlessly from the state of already having. Its fuel is not fear, but fullness. It is born of the quiet confidence, peace, and knowing of your wish already being a fact in consciousness. It is not about getting anything, because you know you already possess it in the creative realm of imagination. Instead, inspired action is about expressing the person you have now become. It is the natural unfolding of your new state of being. Let us return to your boat on the river. You are no longer rowing. You have accepted your role as the architect, not the oarsman. You are resting in your boat, enjoying the warmth of the sun, feeling the profound peace of your assumption. You know that the beautiful shore is downstream, and that the river of life itself is flowing in that direction. The current is your ally. Suddenly, you feel a gentle, natural impulse. It is not a frantic command, but a quiet, clear knowing. You reach out your hand, almost without thinking, and place it on the boat's rudder. With a simple, easy movement, you adjust it slightly, guiding the boat to align perfectly with the strongest part of the current. There is no strain, there is no struggle. You are working in joyful cooperation with the flow of life. This easy, obvious, effortless movement is inspired action. It did not create the current. It did not create the destination. It was simply the next logical physical step that arose from your state of being, allowing the journey to unfold with maximum grace and minimum effort. Your body is the ultimate barometer for distinguishing between these two forms of action. You must learn to listen to its wisdom. Anxious effort feels like contraction. It registers in the body as tension in the jaw, tightness in the shoulders, a knot in the stomach. The mind feels rushed, frantic, and pressured. There is an inner voice saying, "I have to do this, or else something bad will happen." It is the energy of survival. Inspired action, on the other hand, feels like expansion. It registers in the body as a sense of calm, of rightness, of energy rising. It feels like a release of tension. The mind is clear and present. The inner voice is not a command, but a gentle nudge, a spontaneous idea that feels light and good. "Oh, I have a sudden urge to call that person. You know, it feels like the right time to clean out that closet. What a great idea. I'll go for a walk in the park." It is the energy of authentic expression. Your practice is to become a master of your own inner barometer. Before you take any significant action towards your goal, pause for a moment. Close your eyes. Take a breath. Ask yourself, am I doing this out of fear or out of flow? Am I rowing against the current, or am I simply steering with it? If you detect the tension and contraction of anxious effort, the wisest thing you can do is to stop. Do not take the action. Instead, return to your inner work. Go back to your sanctuary. Re-establish the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Marinate in the state of your assumption until the inner anxiety dissolves and is replaced by quiet confidence. Then, wait. The inspired urge, the effortless next step, will eventually come. It always does. It may come in 5 minutes or 5 days, but it will come, and when it does, it will feel as natural and easy as breathing. This completely transforms your relationship with doing. You cease to be a person who uses action to change your circumstances. You become a person whose circumstances are changed by your state of being, and action simply becomes the joyous dance of the new self you are embodying. It is the person who is already wealthy making a wise and calm investment. It is the person who is already cherished and loved, planning a joyful date night. It is the person who is already healthy, choosing to prepare a delicious, nourishing meal. The action does not cause the state causes the action. This is the secret. Mastering this new, graceful approach to life requires you to develop a unique and powerful spiritual skill. It is the skill of holding your inner reality, the truth of your assumption, as the dominant, primary fact, while simultaneously and calmly navigating the outer world, which may not yet have had time to fully catch up and reflect this new truth. You must learn to stand with one foot in the unseen world of your imagination and the other foot in the physical world of Caesar, all without losing your spiritual balance. This is the profound and practical art of living in two worlds at once. You have now embraced the profound truth that your inner world of assumption is the creative cause, and the outer world is its faithful reflection. You understand that inspired action is not a desperate effort to get something, but the natural expression of the person you have already become within. This understanding brings you to the most practical and persistent challenge of this entire journey. How do you maintain this precious, creative inner state while living in a physical world that may not yet have caught up? How do you hold the feeling of wealth when a bill arrives? How do you maintain the feeling of being loved when you are sitting alone on a Friday night? How do you keep your footing on the invisible bridge of your assumption when the winds of outer reality are howling? The answer lies in mastering the art of living in two worlds at once, and the master tool for this art is the quantum pause. For decades, we have been taught that spiritual practice requires long, dedicated periods of removal from the world. An hour of meditation at dawn, a weekend retreat. While these practices are beautiful and beneficial, they often create a fragile state of peace that shatters the moment we re-engage with the pressures of daily life. The peace of the meditation cushion is lost in the first stressful email. For the purpose of maintaining a creative assumption, frequency is far more powerful than duration. A single hour of charging your battery in the morning is not enough to last through a day of contradictory evidence that constantly seeks to drain your power. The secret is not a massive morning charge, but constant, tiny vibrational top-ups throughout the day. The quantum pause is a brief, conscious, and deliberate withdrawal of your attention from the outer world to return to the inner one. It can be as short as a single conscious breath, or as long as the 60 seconds it takes to look out a window. Its purpose is to consistently and repeatedly break the hypnotic spell of the 3D world. The physical reality, with its barrage of news, demands, and sensory data, is loud, persistent, and seductive. It constantly tries to convince you that it is the only reality, pulling you into its dramas and making you forget the greater truth of who you are and what you have assumed. The quantum pause is the act of cutting this hypnotic thread. It is a moment of remembering. It is a conscious choice to unplug from the world's drama and plug back into your own power. It is the act of coming home, again and again and again, to the reality you have chosen within. The practice is simplicity itself. You are in the middle of your workday. A challenging situation arises. Before you react, you pause. You might excuse yourself for a moment, or simply lower your gaze from your computer screen. In that brief pause, you perform 3 simple steps. First, you disconnect. You deliberately release your mental and emotional grip on the external problem. For just 1 second, you let it go. Second, you reconnect. You immediately call up the feeling of your wish fulfilled. You feel the robe of your new identity. You feel the peace, the confidence, the abundance you have cultivated. You return to your inner temple. Third, you re-engage. You return your attention to the outer world, but you are no longer the same person who left it a moment ago. You are now looking at the situation from the state of your assumption. Your perspective has shifted. Your resources feel different. Your response will now be one of inspired action, not anxious reaction. Let us use the metaphor of a deep-sea diver. Imagine you are a diver, exploring the mysterious and beautiful, but also dark and highly pressurized world of physical reality. This is world number 2, the world of effects. Your lifeline, the hose that connects you to the boat on the surface, is your connection to your inner world, to the state of your assumption. This is world number 1, the world of cause. This lifeline provides you with a constant supply of spiritual oxygen, the life force of your creative power. It is what allows you to function safely and effectively in the alien environment of the deep. A wise diver is always engaged with their environment. They are looking at the coral, observing the strange fish of daily events, navigating the reefs of worldly challenges, but a part of their awareness is always on their lifeline. Periodically, they will check their gauges. They will give a gentle tug on the line, just to feel that solid, reassuring connection to the surface, their source of life. The quantum pause is this vital line check. It is you, in the middle of your deep dive into a busy workday or a difficult family gathering, taking a brief, conscious moment to tug the line. It is the act of feeling for your connection to your assumption, your source of spiritual oxygen. A diver who becomes so mesmerized by a passing fish that they forget their lifeline, that they wander too far and ignore their gauges, is a diver in grave peril. They will soon find themselves crushed by the immense pressure of the deep. A person who becomes so hypnotized by the drama of the outer world, an argument, a piece of bad news, a financial worry, that they forget their inner assumption for hours at a time, is a person who will be crushed by the pressure of external circumstances. They will forget who they are. They will revert to the old state of being, and their creative work will be undone. The quantum pause is your safety procedure. It is your non-negotiable act of self-preservation in a world that would have you forget your power. Let us make this intensely practical. A stressful email from your boss lands in your inbox. Your automatic, conditioned reaction is to feel a jolt of anxiety and click it open immediately. Instead, you deploy the quantum pause. Before your finger touches the mouse, you stop. You take one slow, deep breath. As you inhale, you feel your power. As you exhale, you feel the feeling of being calm, capable, and respected. You remember your assumption, everything always works out for me. Having re-established your true state, then you open the email. You will read its contents from a place of resourceful calm, not reactive panic. Your response will be worlds apart. You are in a tense conversation. The other person says something that pushes your buttons. Your old self would lash out, defend, or shut down. Instead, you pause. You hold eye contact, but your inner awareness drops into your body. You feel your feet on the floor. You reconnect with your chosen state of peace. You tug the lifeline. Having centered yourself, then you speak. Your words will be wiser, calmer, and infinitely more effective. The quantum pause turns your entire day into a living meditation. It is not about escaping the world. It is about learning to bring the power and peace of your inner world into the outer world, moment by moment. It is the ultimate tool for living in two worlds at once, for walking the bridge between the unseen and the seen with grace and confidence. Each time you perform this simple act, you are doing more than just managing your mood. You are performing an act of profound vibrational hygiene. You are consciously choosing, again and again, the energetic frequency from which you wish to create. To fully understand the power of what you are doing, it is essential that we now explore the underlying mechanic of this creative process, the fundamental language of the universe that you are learning to speak with every feeling you choose to hold. This is the language of vibration. With every quantum pause you take, with every conscious return to the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are doing something far more profound than simply managing your mood. You are engaging in an act of cosmic communication. You are speaking the native language of the universe. To fully grasp the power you are wielding, we must now pull back the veil on the underlying physics of creation. For centuries, mystics have taught what quantum physicists are now beginning to prove, that beneath the convincing illusion of solidity, the universe is not made of solid things, it is made of energy. The chair you are sitting in, the air you are breathing, This physical body you call your own, all of it, is simply a vast field of energy vibrating at different frequencies. This is not just a poetic concept. It is the fundamental nature of reality, and this is the source of your ultimate power. For if everything is simply vibrating energy, and if your consciousness can influence energy, then nothing is truly fixed. Nothing is impossible. Your work as a creator is to become a master musician in the orchestra of the cosmos, learning to consciously control the vibration of the one instrument you have been given, your own being. Think of yourself as a living, breathing, broadcasting tower. In every moment of every day, you are sending out a complex energetic signal into the quantum field, the universal sea of potential. This signal is the sum total of your being, your conscious thoughts, your deep-seated beliefs, but most potently, your dominant feeling state. Your emotions are the most direct and powerful regulators of this broadcast. They are, in essence, your vibrational indicators, the needle on the gauge that tells you precisely what frequency you are transmitting. When you feel emotions like fear, shame, jealousy, or despair, your entire system constricts and you broadcast a low, slow, chaotic frequency. When you feel emotions like love, gratitude, joy, or peace, your system expands and you broadcast a high, fast, coherent frequency. It is vital to understand that these emotions are not good or bad in a moral sense. They are simply information. They are your built-in, infallible guidance system telling you, moment to moment, what signal you are sending out into the universe. To make this tangible, let us use the metaphor of a radio. Imagine that every possible reality you could ever desire exists right now as a specific radio station broadcasting its signal 24/7. There is a perfect health station, a deeply fulfilling love station, a joyful abundance station. Let's focus on the joyful abundance station. It is broadcasting on a clear, powerful frequency, let's call it 98.7 FM. The music it plays is the sound of opportunity, ease, and gratitude. Its talk shows are about creative ideas and successful ventures. Its signal is always there, available to anyone who can tune to it. Now, you are a living radio receiver and transmitter. Based on your past experiences and beliefs, your old programming, your personal dial has, perhaps, been set for most of your life to struggling lack radio at 88.5 FM. The broadcast on this station is very different. It is filled with the static of worry. Its talk shows are endless loops of complaint and blame. Its news reports are focused exclusively on scarcity and problems. The fundamental law of reality, like the law of radio, is resonance. You can only experience the station you are tuned to. While your dial is firmly fixed at 88.5 FM, you simply cannot hear the beautiful music playing at 98.7 FM. You might know it exists. You might hope for it, pray for it, and complain about its absence in your life. But the universe is not withholding the music of abundance from you. You are simply not tuned to its frequency. So, how do you change the station? This is the secret of all conscious creation. You do not change it by running over to the radio and trying to force the dial with your hands. That is anxious effort. You change the station internally. Your feeling state is the tuning dial. All the practices you have. Learn assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, using the quantum pausière, acts of consciously reaching within yourself and beginning to turn that dial. When you choose to feel the feeling of gratitude and abundance first, even when your senses deny it, you are deliberately turning your frequency from 88.5 towards 98.7. This tuning process is not always instantaneous. As you turn the dial, you might move through patches of static. This is the period of transition where your outer world might seem confusing or even more chaotic. You might get glimpses of the new station mixed with the old one. A small, unexpected windfall might arrive, followed by an unexpected bill. This is not a sign of failure. It is a sign that you are in between stations. Your job in this phase is to be a faithful station manager. You must ignore the static and keep your attention focused on tuning to the new, clear signal. You must hold fast to your new feeling state, regardless of the mixed results in the outer world. Eventually, if you persist, you will lock in to the new frequency. The signal will become clear and steady, and your physical reality, the mirror, will begin to consistently play you the beautiful music of your new chosen reality. To be an effective manager of your own frequency, you must practice good vibrational hygiene. Be conscious of what you are allowing into your energy field. The media you consume, the conversations you participate in, the music you listen to, all of it is vibrational input. If you are trying to tune your being to the frequency of peace, spending 3 hours watching violent thrillers or engaging in angry political arguments online is like deliberately pouring static into your own receiver. This is not about avoidance or censorship. It is about conscious, loving choice. Does this input tune me closer to my desired state or further away from it? Use sound itself as a powerful tool. Sound is, literally, vibration made audible. Listen to music that elevates you, that makes you feel the way you want to feel. For some, this may be soaring classical music. For others, joyful pop or serene ambient tones. You can also use specific frequencies, like singing bowls, chants, or binaural beats, as powerful tuning forks to help recalibrate your energy field back to a state of harmony. Pay attention to your environment. Spending time in nature is a masterclass in vibrational tuning, as it effortlessly entrains your energy to its own complex, harmonious frequency. And surround yourself, as much as you can, with people who uplift you, who resonate with the person you are becoming. Their high-frequency field will support yours. And when you encounter negativity or chaos that you cannot avoid, you have your master tool, the quantum pause. It is your personal reset button, your way of instantly retuning your dial back to your chosen station, no matter what is happening around you. You are the broadcasting tower of your reality. Your feelings are your frequency. Your life is simply the song you have chosen to play. Creation is not a struggle. It is an act of tuning. You are a vibrational being, and you are learning moment by moment to speak the native language of the cosmos. This profound understanding of yourself as a transmitter of energy provides a new and liberating lens through which to view one of the most ancient and misunderstood spiritual concepts of all time, the law of karma. When stripped of all superstition and moralistic judgment, karma is revealed to be not a system of cosmic reward and punishment, but simply the universe's immutable law of momentum applied to energy. It is the natural, logical, and unavoidable consequence of the frequency you consistently choose to broadcast. You now understand yourself as a living broadcast station, constantly sending a signal of a specific frequency into the quantum field of the universe. With every quantum pause, with every conscious return to your assumed state, you are calibrating this signal, choosing the music of your reality. This understanding provides us with a new, powerful, and profoundly liberating lens through which to view one of the most feared and misunderstood spiritual concepts of all time, the law of karma. For centuries, this word has been shrouded in superstition and fear. It has been presented as a system of cosmic bookkeeping, of reward and punishment, managed by an unseen judge who doles out suffering for past misdeeds. This view has made people feel like helpless prisoners of a past they cannot remember or change. Today, we will cast off this fearful superstition and embrace a new understanding. Karma is not a moral law. It is a law of physics. It is the simple, impersonal, and utterly predictable law of energetic momentum. It is not a punishment, it is a consequence. It is not a sentence, it is a trajectory. An object in motion tends to stay in motion. This is a fundamental law of the physical world. The same is true for energy. An energy in motion tends to stay in motion. Every time you think a thought, feel an emotion, or take an action, you generate a pulse of energy. When you think the same kinds of thoughts, feel the same kinds of emotions, and take the same kinds of actions day after day, these individual pulses of energy begin to align. They merge and flow together, creating a powerful current, a river of energy moving in a very specific direction. This energetic current develops a momentum of its own. It becomes the path of least resistance for your life force. This is your karmic trajectory. This is why patterns seem to repeat so stubbornly in our lives. The the same kind of relationships, the same financial struggles, the same health issues. We are not cursed. We are simply caught in the powerful current of a karmic momentum that we ourselves, through our own past, repeated states of consciousness, have created. Let us use a simple metaphor to make this clear. Imagine you are standing at the top of a large, grassy hill. In your hand is a ball. This ball represents a thought, a feeling, or an action. You release the ball, and it rolls down the hill, leaving a faint trail in the soft earth. The next day, you return to the exact same spot at the top of the hill and release another ball. The laws of physics dictate that this second ball will be more likely to follow the faint path of the first, as it is now the path of least resistance. As it rolls, it deepens the groove just a little more. Now, imagine you do this every single day for years. You have, through your own repetition, carved a deep, unmissable groove down the side of this hill. This deep groove is your karmic pattern. At this point, you don't even have to aim. You can simply let go of the ball, and the groove's powerful influence will capture it, pulling it down the same, predictable path it has always taken. To an observer who doesn't understand the history of the hill, it might look like the ball is fated to travel that path. It might seem like some external force is dictating its destiny, but you know the truth. You are the one who carved the groove. This is how we experience our lives. We feel fated to repeat our patterns. We feel helpless against the pull of our destiny. But we are the creators of that destiny. We carved the very channels that now guide our lives through our own sustained, repeated states of being. The good news is that the one who carved the old path has the absolute power to carve a new one. How do you change the ball's journey? You do not run halfway down the hill and try to wrestle the ball out of the deep groove. That would require an immense, unsustainable amount of forceful effort against a powerful momentum. The point of power is not halfway down the hill. The point of power is always and only at the very top. The top of the hill is the present moment, the now. To create new karma, you return to the point of creative power. You stand in the now, and you consciously, deliberately, choose to release the ball in a completely new direction. The first few times you do this, it will feel difficult. The gravitational pull of the old, deep groove will be strong. Your mind, your habits, your circumstances will all try to pull the ball back into the familiar path. But you persist. You faithfully maintain your new assumption. You feel the new feeling. You release the ball again and again along this new trajectory. At first, it creates only a faint trail. But with each pass, the new path becomes clearer, more defined. You continue this work until your new path, your new karmic groove, becomes deeper, more compelling, and more powerful than the old one. Eventually, the new path becomes the default. It becomes the new path of least resistance. You have not erased your past karma. You have simply made it obsolete by creating a new, more desirable trajectory for your life to follow. This understanding resolves the age-old philosophical battle between fate and free will. They are not opposing forces. They are two parts of the same process. Your fate is simply your past karmic momentum, the well-worn grooves you have already carved. If you live your life unconsciously, on autopilot, you will be ruled by this momentum. Your life will seem fated, predictable, and inescapable. Your free will is your divine power. In this eternal moment of now, to choose a new thought, feel a new feeling, assume a new state, and begin the work of carving a new path. You are not a prisoner of your past karma. You are only bound by it to the degree that you continue to feed it with your present moment energy and belief. Every time you perform a quantum pause, every time you choose to react from your assumption instead of your conditioning, you are exercising your free will. You are consciously creating your future karma. So, let go of all fear of cosmic judgment. There is no bearded God in the sky keeping a ledger of your rights and wrongs. There is only the perfect, impersonal, and loving law of energy. The universe does not punish you or reward you. It simply reflects and magnifies the energy you are consistently offering. Your life is a feedback system. The recurring patterns are not a life sentence. They are a signpost, pointing directly to the karmic grooves you have carved. The universe is lovingly showing you your own work. It is asking you, this is the path your energy is on. Is this the direction you still wish to travel? If not, you have the power, right now, to choose a new one. You are the master of your energetic destiny. Karma is not a cage, it is the clay, and you are the sculptor. This realization that you are the conscious creator of the very pathways your life follows leads us to a final, profound integration. It leads us to see that the distinction between the one who carves the path and the path itself begins to dissolve. You are not just the creator of the pattern. In a deeper sense, you are the pattern. Your energy and its expression are one. This understanding dissolves the final illusion of separation between the creator and the creation, between the one who weaves and the fabric that is being woven. You have journeyed far. You have seen yourself as the healer of your past and the architect of your future. You have understood that your feeling state is a broadcast, and that karma is not a judgment, but the simple momentum of your own energy. Each of these perspectives has been a powerful tool, a new lens through which to view your reality. But they have all held a subtle, hidden illusion, the illusion of separation. The healer and the wound, the architect and the building, the broadcaster and the signal. We have maintained the idea of a doer and a thing being done. Now, it is time for the final integration. It is time to dissolve this last illusion and step into the profound, unified truth of your being. You are not just the one acting upon your life. You are your life. The creator and the creation are, and have always been, one. To grasp this, let us embrace our final, most holistic metaphor. Your reality, in its entirety, is a magnificent and infinitely complex tapestry. Imagine it hanging in the great hall of eternity, shimmering with every possible color, texture, and pattern. Your consciousness is the vast, silent loom upon which this tapestry is being woven. The loom itself is pure, formless potential. It is the framework that allows the picture to emerge. The threads are the very substance of your experience. There are threads that come from what you call the past, the coarse, dark threads of old pains, the shimmering silver threads of cherished memories. There are threads that come from what you call the future, the vibrant, electric threads of desire, the golden threads of unmanifested potential. And then there is the shuttle, the active tool that flies across the loom. The shuttle is your attention, your awareness, in the single, eternal moment of now. It is the only part of the loom that ever moves. For most of our lives, we have been under the hypnotic spell that we are merely a small, insignificant figure embroidered onto this vast tapestry, subject to its pre-existing pattern, helpless to change the design. We see ourselves as a consequence of the weave, not its cause. But the great awakening is the realization that you are not the figure in the cloth, you are the weaver at the loom. In every moment, the shuttle of your present moment attention is flying across the warp and weft of your life. It picks up a thread of an old memory, weaves it together with a thread of a current feeling, and loops in a thread of a future desire. The pattern that emerges is your present moment experience. We have been taught that time is a line, that the past is a finished section of the tapestry behind us, and the future is an empty section yet to be woven. This is an illusion. The past, present, and future are all here now, on your loom, as available threads for you to choose from. The past is not behind you, it is a basket of threads to your left. The future is not in front of you, it is a basket of threads to your right. You, the weaver in the now, are the one choosing which threads to pull from in this very moment. You understand now the interconnectedness of all things. You cannot touch a single thread in a tapestry without it affecting the tension and the pattern of all the threads around it. They are not separate, they are one fabric. This metaphor illuminates all the work we have done together. When you practice the art of revision, you are not violently ripping a dark thread out of the fabric. That would leave a hole, a weakness. No, as the master weaver, you take that coarse, dark thread of a painful memory and you consciously choose to weave it together with new, healing threads. You surround it with the soft, golden thread of self-compassion. You loop it with the strong, silver thread of wisdom gained. you weave through it the iridescent thread of forgiveness. The original dark thread, the fact of what happened, is still part of the tapestry, but it has been redeemed. It is no longer an ugly, painful flaw. It has been integrated into a new, more beautiful, more complex pattern. It has been given new meaning. Its contribution to the beauty of the whole has been transformed from a wound into a mark of strength and resilience. When you practice the art of assumption, you are making a conscious choice about your materials. You are deliberately reaching into the basket of future potential and choosing to weave predominantly with the vibrant threads of your fulfilled desire. You choose the deep blue thread of peace, the radiant gold of abundance, the soft rose pink of love. As you consistently use these threads, as you make them the primary colors of your present moment work, the overall pattern of the tapestry naturally, inevitably, begins to shift. It begins to glow with the beauty and harmony of the materials you are feeding into it. The shuttle of your attention in this moment is your sole point of power. Do you choose to pick up the familiar, scratchy thread of an old grievance, or the smooth silk thread of a new possibility? Do you weave with the gray, heavy thread of anxious worry, or the light, shimmering thread of faith? This choice, right now, determines the nature of the entire fabric of your reality. Now, we must take the final step of integration. We have seen you as the loom and the weaver, but you must also realize that you are the woven. You are the tapestry itself. The consciousness that decides which thread to use is made of the very same essential substance as the threads themselves. The awareness and the experience are not two separate things. There is no ultimate separation between the weaver and the tapestry. The weaver is the tapestry in the act of becoming. This realization dissolves the final residue of ego, the sense of a separate I who is doing all this. You are not a little person manipulating your life. You are life itself, weaving itself into magnificent, complex, and beautiful patterns of experience through the focused lens of your individual attention. You are the universe becoming aware of itself, one thread, one moment, one choice at a time. There is a divine, breathtaking unity to your existence that you have perhaps never dared to imagine. You are the loom of potential, the weaver of the now, the threads of all that has been and all that can be, and the ever-changing, magnificent cloth that is the result. Past, present, and future are not a line you are walking along. They are a single, holistic, and constantly reforming work of art that you are both creating and experiencing in this one eternal moment. This glorious tapestry, this substance of your reality with its infinite threads of memory, feeling, and potential, must all emerge from somewhere. Where does the raw material for the threads come from? Where does the flax of memory and the silk of desire originate? It all arises from a place before pattern, before color, before form. It emerges from the great, silent, and creative emptiness that lies between each of your thoughts. To become a true master weaver, you must become intimate with this primordial source. You must learn to draw your threads directly from the stillness of the fertile void. You are the loom of consciousness, the weaver of the now, and the magnificent, ever-changing tapestry of your reality. We have explored the threads of past and future, and the power you have to choose which ones to weave into your present experience. But we must now ask the ultimate question: from where do all these threads originate? Where is the source of the flax of memory, the silk of desire, the very substance of reality itself? The answer is not found in more thinking, more analysis, or more doing. The answer is found in the place we have been trained our entire lives to ignore. The source of all creation lies in the vast, silent, and potent emptiness between your thoughts. We live in a world that worships noise. We identify with the constant chatter of our own minds, believing that this stream of internal dialogue is who we are. We see our thoughts as the substance, the reality, and the silent spaces between them as brief, insignificant pausesa, momentary absence of the noise. But this is the great illusion. The thoughts are the fleeting clouds passing through the sky of your mind. The silence is the sky itself, vast, eternal, and ever-present. The thoughts are the interruptions. The silence is your fundamental nature. And this silence is not a dead, empty void. It is the fertile void. It is the womb of the cosmos, the field of pure potential from which all forms, all ideas, and all realities are born. Consider the wisdom of the ancient masters. Consider a cup. What is it that makes a cup useful? It is not the porcelain walls or the fired clay. It is the emptiness inside. It is the void within that allows it to hold water, to contain tea, to be of service. We spend so much of our lives polishing the walls of our Cooper personality, our achievements, our thoughts, that we forget our true power lies in the spacious emptiness we are capable of holding within. Now consider a room. What makes a room a home? Not the four walls, the floor, or the ceiling. It is the empty space held between them. It is this emptiness that allows for life, for movement, for furniture to be placed, for relationships to unfold. If a room were filled wall to wall with solid concrete, it would be useless. So it is with the mind. A mind cluttered with constant, repetitive, anxious thinking has no space for anything new to enter. There is no room for inspiration, no space for a new idea, no opening for a solution to arrive. The creative power of your mind lies not in the frantic energy of its thinking, but in the calm, spacious awareness that silently contains all thoughts. The great work, then, is to become intimate with this silence. It is not something you need to create. It is already here. It is your natural state. You have simply learned to overlook it, to drown it out with noise. We will now practice returning to it. This is not about forcing your mind to be silent. You cannot fight the mind with the mind. You will only create more conflict. The approach is one of gentle, loving awareness. Sit quietly for a moment. Close your eyes, and for the first few breaths, simply become the witness to your own thoughts. Watch them as if you were sitting on a riverbank, watching leaves float by on the current. A thought about work floats by. You notice it. You do not climb onto the leaf and float away with it. You simply let it pass. A memory floats by. You acknowledge it and let it go. A worry about the future appears. You see it and let it drift away. You are not your thoughts. You are the silent, unmoving awareness on the riverbank, watching the river of thought flow by. Now, we will shift our focus. Instead of watching the leaves, the thoughts themselves, begin to listen for the space between the leaves. Become more interested in the quiet water of the river than in the objects floating upon it. Notice the tiny gap between the end of one thought and the beginning of the next. At first, this gap may seem infinitesimally small, a fraction of a second. That is perfectly fine. Do not try to widen it. Do not try to force the silence. Your only task is to notice it. Your gentle, non-judgmental attention is the key that unlocks the door to this inner space. As you rest your attention in this gap, as you become more fascinated with the silence than with the noise, a miracle happens. The gap naturally begins to expand. The river of thought begins to slow down, simply because you have withdrawn your energy from it. You are not pushing the thoughts away. You are simply giving your attention to the silent presence that was there all along. And what is the quality of this presence? It is not a blank, dead nothingness. On the contrary, it is intensely, vibrantly alive. It is a state of pure, formless awareness, buzzing with a quiet, powerful energy. It is profoundly peaceful. It has no anxiety, because it has no past or future. It simply is. This is the direct experience of your true nature, beneath the mask of personality. This is the I am, before the mind attaches a story to it, like I am John, or I am happy, or I am a failure. This is the source. This is the fertile void. This silent space is the wellspring of all true creation. Every brilliant scientific insight, every sublime artistic inspiration, every elegant solution to a complex problem in human history has not come from a state of frantic, logical grinding. It has come in a flash, an aha moment. These moments happen when the thinking mind, exhausted from its efforts, finally gives up and gets quiet for a second. In that moment of inner silence, a space is created for a higher intelligence, the intelligence of the void, to drop in the answer, fully formed. By consciously practicing entering this silence, you make yourself a more receptive vessel for this divine inspiration. You learn to get out of your own way so that a greater wisdom can flow through you. Furthermore, this silent, receptive void is the ultimate fertile ground for planting the seed of your desire. When you try to manifest something through constant, repetitive, anxious thinking, it is like trying to grow a flower on a noisy, concrete factory floor. There is no medium for it to take root. But when you take your desire, your clear intention, and you gently release it into this deep, silent, peaceful state of being, you are placing your seed in the richest, most potent creative medium in the universe. You hold the feeling of your wish fulfilled, and then you let it go into the stillness, trusting the void to act as the cosmic womb that will gestate your desire and bring it into form. Your greatest power is not found in the noise of your striving, but in the depth of your silence. Your strength is not in the complexity of your thoughts, but in the spaciousness of your awareness. The fertile void is not something you need to go out and find. It is not something you achieve. It is your home. It is always here, just beneath the surface of the mind's chatter, waiting patiently for you to turn your attention toward it, waiting for you to come home. It is the source of all the threads in your tapestry. It is the origin point of your reality. As you become more comfortable resting in this silent, creative void, as you touch the source from which all things arise, a new feeling begins to bloom spontaneously within your heart. It is a feeling that arises without any external cause or reason. It is a profound, all-encompassing sense of thankfulness. It is a gratitude not just for what you have and what you can see, but a gratitude for the very potential of all that is unseen. This is the ultimate catalyst for creation. From the deep, silent well of the fertile void, a new feeling begins to arise. It is not a thought that you construct, nor an emotion that you force. It blooms spontaneously from the stillness, like a water lily opening its petals on the surface of a perfectly calm pond. This feeling is gratitude. At first, it is a quiet sense of thankfulness for the peace you have found, for the simple act of being. But as you rest here, you realize this gratitude has two distinct and powerful layers. The first is the gratitude we all know, the thankfulness for the blessings already present in our lives, for the lessons of the past, for the beauty we can see and touch. This is a beautiful and vital practice. But beneath it lies a deeper, more radical form of gratitude. This is the gratitude for the unseen. It is the act of giving profound, heartfelt thanks for the reality you have claimed in your imagination, long before it has hardened into physical fact. This is not hope. It is not wishing. It is the ultimate statement of faith, and it is the final, most powerful catalyst for creation. To feel genuine, sincere gratitude for a reality you cannot yet perceive with your five senses is the ultimate act of aligning with the creative law of the universe. It is the final and most powerful signal you can send. It is a transmission that says, with unshakable conviction, it is done. Hope says, I wish this would happen. Gratitude for the unseen says, I know this has happened on the creative plane, and I am thankful for its physical unfolding. This feeling of gratitude closes the loop of creation. You have conceived the blueprint in thought. You have energized it with feeling. You have inhabited it through assumption. And now you seal it with the amen of pure thankfulness. You are no longer petitioning the universe from a state of lack. You are harmonizing with it from a state of fullness. By feeling grateful for your desire now, you are becoming a perfect vibrational match to the reality where your desire is already a present fact. There is no longer any distance, any separation between you and what you desire. You have collapsed the energetic space between them. Let this metaphor be your guide. Imagine you are awake in the sacred quiet hours before the dawn. The world is bathed in a deep, peaceful darkness. The sun is not yet visible. There is no direct evidence of its light or warmth. But you, standing in this stillness, know the nature of the universe. You know that the dawn is not a possibility, it is a certainty. And so, you feel a profound sense of gratitude swell in your heart. You give thanks for the light that is coming. You feel the warmth of the sun on your skin, even though the air is still cool. You are not grateful because the sun has risen. You are grateful because you know that the sun must rise. This is radical gratitude. This is faith so absolute that it gives thanks for the effect before the cause is visible to the naked eye. Conventional gratitude is standing in the brilliant light of midday and being thankful for the sun's warmth. It is wonderful, but it is easy. It requires no faith. Radical gratitude is standing in the pre-dawn darkness and thanking the universe for the warmth that you know is on its way. Your desired reality is this sun, currently just below the horizon of your physical senses. You have claimed it in the inner world of your imagination. You have seen its light and felt its warmth there. Now, your final work is to stand in your present moment and feel overwhelming gratitude for its inevitable physical dawning in your life. You are thanking the universe for a law you now understand to be true. That which is faithfully assumed in consciousness and held with a feeling of grateful acceptance must, by its very nature, appear in your reality. Let us bring this into a living practice. Take out your journal, but today we will not be journaling about the past. We will write a gratitude list for the future, but we will write it in the past tense, as if it has already been given. Do not write, "I hope to find a fulfilling career." Write, "I am so deeply and profoundly grateful for the joyful, creative, and abundant work that I now do. Thank you for the wonderful colleagues, the sense of purpose, and the financial freedom it provides me." Do not write, "I want my body to heal." Write, "Thank you, thank you. Thank you for the vibrant health and energy that surges through my body. I am so grateful for this feeling of strength, flexibility, and complete well-being." As you write these statements, do not just write the words, feel them. Generate the sincere emotion of gratitude as if you were writing a thank you letter for a gift you have just received. This practice rewires your brain and your energy field to accept your new reality as a present fact. You can also practice this as a moving meditation throughout your day. As you walk through the world, let the world become a gallery of promises and respond to each promise with a silent thank you. You see a happy couple walking hand in hand. Instead of feeling a pang of loneliness, let your heart whisper, "Thank you for the beautiful, deep love that fills my life." You drive past a beautiful home. Instead of feeling envy, you feel a quiet recognition and say, "Thank you for my own home of peace, beauty, and security." You are not lying to yourself. You are acknowledging that the physical world is showing you a menu of possibilities that are already yours in spirit. You are seeing the evidence of things not yet seen and greeting them with the grace of gratitude. This is a profoundly powerful way to live, transforming every moment from a potential trigger of lack into an opportunity for faith and thankfulness. This practice dissolves all remaining resistance. You cannot be worried and grateful at the same time. You cannot feel lack and gratitude in the same moment. Gratitude is the ultimate solvent of fear. It is the highest vibrational frequency you can embody. When you flood your consciousness with gratitude for the unseen, you are lubricating the channels of creation, allowing the universe to deliver your desire to you with the greatest possible speed and elegance. You are no longer the anxious architect, wondering if the building will be completed. You are the grateful owner, walking through the finished halls of a masterpiece, giving thanks for its perfection. As you stand in this profound state of grace, as your heart overflows with gratitude for a past you have healed and redeemed, for a present you now inhabit with conscious power, and for a future you have claimed with love and certainty, the final and most complete realization dawns upon you. You see with startling clarity that you have not just learned a series of clever techniques for living. You have, in fact, remembered your true nature. You have remembered that you are not a traveler being dragged along a fixed and linear timeline. You are the timeline itself. You are the creator of the past, the present, and the future. You are the one who has the power to journey into any moment, to bring healing, to bring peace, to bring forth a new creation. You are, and have always been, the time traveler. We began this journey together with the promise of a time travel meditation. We have journeyed into the shadowed rooms of the past. We have stood at the drafting table of the future, and we have learned to anchor ourselves in the singular power of the now. And so, the final question must be asked, where is the machine? Where is the intricate device of polished chrome and blinking lights that has enabled these travels? The time has come for the greatest revelation of all. There is no machine. There never was. You have been searching for a vehicle, all the while not realizing that you are the vehicle. Your own consciousness is the most sophisticated, most powerful, and only true time travel device in the universe. This entire journey has not been about learning to operate an external tool. It has been an act of remembering how to operate yourself. It has been a process of waking up to a power that has been yours since the beginning of all worlds. You are the time traveler. Let us revisit the path we have walked, but this time, let us see it through the lens of this newfound identity. You have learned to travel to your past, but you did not go back as a helpless passenger on a ghost train of memory, forced to witness old tragedies through a smudged window. You went back as the master of the vehicle, the pilot of your own consciousness. You deliberately and consciously chose your destinazione, specific, painful memory, and you journeyed there, not to be wounded again, but to perform a sacred task. You brought with you the high-frequency light of your present moment awareness, and you flooded that dark room with its healing radiance. You, the time traveler, were the wise healer who brought compassion to the parts of yourself that were frozen in pain. You collapsed time by bringing the profound wisdom of your present to the innocent ignorance of your past. You did not erase history, you redeemed it. You have learned to travel to your future. But you did not go forth as an anxious fortune teller, peering into a crystal ball, trying to predict a predetermined fate. You journeyed into the future as its divine architect. You traveled into the quantum field of infinite potential, a realm of pure energy, and you did not merely observe, you created. You chose a reality, you drew its blueprint with loving detail, you inhabited its finished rooms, and you felt its reality with such conviction that you ordained it into being. You, the time traveler, did not foresee a future. You commanded it through the quiet, confident power of your assumption. You collapsed time by bringing the vibrational reality of your desired future into your present moment feeling state. And you have discovered the control panel for this magnificent vehicle of consciousness. It is not a complex dashboard of buttons, dials, and levers. The control panel is the profound, simple, and elegant stillness of the present moment. It is from the sanctuary of the now, and only from the now, that you can choose your destination and initiate a journey. The now is your command center, your point of power, from which you can dispatch your awareness to any coordinate in the vast tapestry of time to perform your sacred work of healing, creation, and redemption. With this knowledge, your entire understanding of time must shift. Time is not the linear river we have been taught to believe in, flowing irreversibly from past to future. It is a vast, holographic field, a cosmic ocean. Every possible moment, every version of your past, every potential for your future coexists simultaneously right now as a vibrational pattern in the quantum realm. Your consciousness is the needle on the record of reality. By changing your inner state, by choosing a new feeling and a new assumption, you are lifting the needle from one track and placing it down upon another. When you revise your past, you are not changing a fixed and solid event. You are choosing to lift your awareness from the track of the painful version of that memory and placing it onto the track of the healed, redeemed version. Both have always existed as potentials. You have simply chosen which one is real for you now. When you create your future, you are choosing to align your vibrational frequency with the track of your fulfilled desire so completely that it becomes your new, dominant, present moment experience. You are not moving along a line. You are shifting your point of perception within an infinite field of possibilities. For so long, on your spiritual journey, you have been searching for a key. You have believed there was a secret key to happiness, a key to abundance, a key to enlightenment. You have searched for it in books, in teachings, in the words of gurus. You believed it was hidden somewhere outside of you, a prize to be won at the end of a long and arduous path. You have journeyed with me through the inner landscapes of your own soul. You have healed, you have released, you have created, you have assumed, and you have become grateful. And now, you find yourself at the end of this journey, standing before what seems to be the final door. In your hand, you discover you are holding a key. You walk towards the door, you place the key in the lock, and as you turn it, the door dissolves into mist right before your eyes. And in that moment, you understand the final, liberating truth. There was never a door. You were never locked out of anywhere, and you were not searching for a key. You are the key. Your own consciousness, your awareness, is the one and only instrument that unlocks any reality, any state, any experience you wish to enter. And the truth is even deeper than that. You are not just the key. You are the door itself. You are the gateway through which the unmanifested pours into the world of manifestation. You are the portal between the unseen and the seen. There is nowhere to go. There is nothing to achieve. There is no one you need to become. There is only the continuous, graceful falling away of all the illusions that told you that you were small, that you were separate, that you were powerless. There is only the profound, simple, earth-shattering realization of what you have always and eternally been. So stand now in the full dignity of this realization. Take a deep breath and feel its truth in every cell of your being. You are the healer of your past. You are the architect of your future. You are the weaver of the tapestry. You are the broadcaster of your reality. You are the source of all the threads. You are the one who chooses which track on the record of eternity to play. You are the time traveler. There is only this eternal moment. There is only the limitless field of potential. And there is only you, the glorious creative consciousness with the absolute power to choose the state you will occupy. This is the beginning and the end of all wisdom. This is who you are. And so, our great journey through the illusory mists of time brings us back to the shore of the eternal now, back to the simple, sacred space of your own being. The travels were vast, the realizations profound, but the journey itself was only ever a journey inward, a spiraling path leading you to the center of your own heart, the place where you have always been. You were not seeking a new destination. You were remembering your home. Stand now on this quiet shore. Feel the sand beneath your feet. This is the solid ground of the present moment. Listen to the gentle rhythmic wash of the waves. This is the breath of the universe, moving in and out, now and always. Look down at the sand around you. The past is like a beautiful, intricate seashell that has washed ashore. You can pick it up. You can admire its patterns, its colors, the spiraling journey that created it. You can learn from its shape and its strength, but it is not you. It is empty of the life that once inhabited it. Hold it, honor it for its lessons, and when you are ready, gently place it back down on the sand. You do not need to carry it with you. You can walk away, unburdened, leaving it to be smoothed and polished by the endless ocean. Now, lift your gaze to the horizon, that shimmering line where the sea meets the sky that is the future. It is vast, full of infinite promise, endlessly beautiful, but you know now that you cannot reach it by frantically swimming toward it. The horizon is not a fixed place. Its beauty and its distance are created by your position right now, on this shore. It is a reflection of the light that you are radiating in this moment. So bathe it in the light of your peaceful assumption, in the golden glow of your gratitude, and let it be drawn to you. And the ocean itself, the great, living, breathing expanse of water that connects the shore you stand on to the horizon you gaze upon. That is the timeless, conscious awareness that you are. It is always here. You can dip your hands in it at any time. Its depths hold all mystery. Its surface reflects all light. It is what you are made of. Let this simple truth be your quiet, constant companion. Let it be the mantra that stills your mind and centers your soul. The past is a memory. The future is a promise. The now is my power. There is nothing more to do. There is nothing more to learn in this moment. The only remaining task is simply to be the presence on the shore, to be the silent witness, to be the power and the peace that you have discovered within. When you feel ready, you can slowly and gently bring your awareness back to the room around you. But carry this stillness with you. Let it be the new foundation of your days and the peaceful sanctuary of your nights. You have journeyed far, not to arrive at a new land, but to arrive fully in the place where you have always been. Welcome home.